Y'all feeling all right? Today's Friday.
I
Chilling.
am um I'm over today already. Honestly, I'm over this week. It hasn't been a whole lot of fun for me. A lot of pressure, work stuff, home stuff. My daughters are home, they were in New York for most of the summer. They're back. So, it's cool, love them, love having them around, but also like I have two fucking children running around my house now. It's fucking weird.
Are they the age where they still running though? Like, is it really just running around the house? What happened to like the tablets and shit like
They're
that?
not running, but they're very loud. Like they're just it's a lot louder. Like the decibel level has increased. And so my stress level has increased. Just general, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to go to the bathroom, like you have to damn, I gotta put shorts on. You know what I mean? Like little shit like that, like these little minor inconveniences
Does
that
have you always been like a grumpy dad? Or, like, did you get to this point? Like, I feel like you might have definitely been more excited in the early stages, but now it's just like, all right, man.
do I
Like,
give off grumpy dad energy?
a little bit. You're like,
Yeah.
damn, it's too loud. Sensitive to sound, sensitive to your space and shit. That it seems
Um
like you.
no. I mean, I have always loved being a dad. I still love being a dad. My kids are awesome, especially my kids specifically because I my kids are not rambunctious like that, and they're a lot like me. They're studious. They problem solve well. They conflict resolve well. They don't get into fights with one another and stuff like that. They've never had a physical altercation, which I don't think many siblings at the ages of 10 and 12 can say. I don't know if you and your brother ever fought physically, but I definitely fought all my cousins, like especially by that point, all my friends outside. Like if we were close, we scrapped at some point. Like it was part of it. So yeah, no, they don't. It's just an extra decibel, bro. Like it is. It's just an extra few decibels that I just did not have to, concern myself with before, and now I do.
You say,
So
hey, quiet down.
See, that's the thing. I don't. When I think of grumpy dad, I think of that. That's really not my. That's really not my energy. I don't think. But
You walk in, give him the eye, and then just walk back out.
there we go.
Just the stare,
That's more
the
like
dad stare.
intimidation.
honestly, I try to big homie them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just yo, come on, man. Can we? You know what I mean? So it's more like that type of shit.
Big homie.
Like it's like my bad, big homie. You know what I'm saying? It's just when you violating. You know what I mean? So sometimes I gotta check them. My youngest put makeup on the dog at some point, and
Damn.
that did not go over well for me.
Poor Rocky.
It's a girl dog, so I guess that was her thought. But also, don't put fucking makeup on the dog, please. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if this shit come off. I don't know shit about Lancome or whatever the fuck you used to give this dog blush. But I know that that's not her fucking color. So, it's just one of them things.
Yeah, I feel like stuff like that. Because I mean, we talked about this on the pod before about necessary traumas or whatever. Like I gave it a word, I gave it a title because I wasn't really sure what the real name for it is. So I'm sure there's a better name out there for it than that. But necessary ass whoopings. Like growing up, I knew when I was bugging and I knew that I was gonna get my ass whooped by my parents, and I was just like, all right, this makes sense,
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
know in the time were you? I don't remember being yeah, I deserve that. I don't remember being feeling like that.
Sometimes there's only one ass whooping where I was like, that was excessive, and I'm not completely sure. I definitely have this weird feeling where I feel like my memory, either my memory is wrong or
She
I've just been or I was gaslit to believe that I feel like I was gaslit at an early age. I think I talked about this on the pod before, but in kindergarten, I remember this kid was messing around. This kindergarten, literally, so 5, 6 years old, 5, because I'm in
5,
July,
yeah.
so I'm younger.
And Mar6 is in first grade, so yeah, 5.
Yeah, 5 years old, kid messing with me, and he's just messing around too much. He's doing too much. So obviously, like my mode goes to threaten. I don't know how I learned this at this age, but my mode went to like, all right, like if you keep messing with me, I'm gonna beat the stuffing out of you, right?
Was those your words exactly?
Nigga had a nigga moment at 5 years old.
That's what I. So here's the thing. That's what I thought I said. I think that's what I remember distinctly saying I'm gonna beat the stuffing out of you.
Yo.
However,
if a 5-year-old told me he gonna beat the stuffing out of me, that's just wild, son. That's just a very wild sentence for a 5-year-old to come up with.
I know, but it's like, yo, I said it. I remember saying it. And
like Mike Tyson when he was 5, bro. That's weird.
He told the teacher, yo, he just said the S word. So obviously there's a lot of S words. We in kindergarten, we learning words that start with others, so he said the S word. To the teacher, the S word is clearly shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm 5 years old and I've heard these words before. My parents, my aunts cuss like sailors. So I knew the words. Sure. I just knew not to say them.
Under the bus.
I knew not to say them.
Auntie Robin get crazy.
But so I said stuffing. So my teacher, she pulls me up. Because this is back in the day when, teachers could put their hands on you. so she like, pulls my shirt, whatever. She's like, did you say the S word? Did you say the S word to Keon? And I'm like, no, I didn't say. She's like, what did you say? And I said, I'm gonna beat the stuffing out of him. And she's like, are you sure you didn't say the S word? And I said, no, I didn't say shit. I'm pretty sure I said, no, I didn't say shit because I know what the S word is. Mm-hmm. So of course I get a note home and, back in those days, they would put a note, they write it, they'll put it on your chest and you take it home, whatever, that type of shit.
They put it on your chest?
Yeah, they wilding.
They put like a little sticky note. They put like I don't even know.
like you would carry a pigeon for like your own punishment and shit. That's fucked up.
She put the ass whipping notice on my chest. This coupon is good for one ass whipping. And I walked, I came to my car, whatever. Obviously my parents like, what's that? You got a sticky note on you. What's that? They read it. Teacher says, I said the S word. And so obviously I go home and I get some addressing. Now I remember now I'm having this conversation with my mom. And she was the one who ended up beating me. She said, Trendell, did you say the S word? And I said I had the same story. I said, no. I said, I'm going to beat the stuffing out of you. At this point, I'm almost in tears because I know what's coming. I know I'm about to get my ass whipped. Yeah. But like I said, no, I'm going to beat the stuffing. And no one's believing me, but I was gaslit to believe that I said
that you said it.
Shit. So I said it again. No, I didn't say shit. I said stuffing. So the fact that I knew the word made them think that I was lying at an early age.
I would have thought you was lying too. Let me just you have a I'm lying ass kid face. Like you look like a kid that used to lie a lot. Like I'm just certain kids, bro. Certain kids, like you could just tell they always coming with some story. They never fucking being honest, and they damn sure not gonna snitch on themselves. Just you remember them dishonest ass kids that like you don't want to play games with them because they're like lie about getting tagged so that they can still keep playing and shit like that. That was definitely you.
But I'm like, at 5 though, I'm like, did I even have that much knowledge to like? Did I even have that much to? Because I've told some stupid lies. Like I look back as a kid, I'm like, all right, there's no way I was getting that off. But I tried, and this is like older, like in my teens, preteens era. Those types of lies, I was like, all right, that was kind of dumb. But in like my kid stage, I definitely wasn't pulling that off. I still had my innocence. So why would you think I'm lying about that? It's y'all fault. But like, obviously, I still got my ass whipped. And like to this day, I'm like, that's the one ass whooping. I was like, I didn't deserve that. Because I know what I said. And fuck this nigga who was talking about, he said the S word. Because he fucked the whole shit up for me. And now I curse like a sailor. So that's probably why I curse so much today.
It's your origin story.
Yeah, this is villain origin story and shit.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that contributes to the way that I run my mouth today. Because it's like, nobody beat my ass for what I say now.
Damn, you remember any unjustified ass whoopings that you got?
Nah, every ass whooping I got, I probably deserved. And I think I knew that going in, because I have a really strict mom. My mom's, when she was younger, she'd been around the block. She was doing all the type, sneaking out, going to see her friends, doing all the type of shit she wasn't supposed to do. Like she had my brother when she was 16, so obviously my mom was a badass kid. Like she was wilding. She punched. I think I told her the story on the pod. She punched the high school vice principal, and she got expelled.
Hell yeah.
So she was wilding out. So she was crazy.
I
So
feel like I
like
don't
I
remember
knew
that.
I knew that like, I couldn't just do anything. And I talked about it when it was I think in a previous recording that we did. I'm sneaky. I prided myself on being very sneaky when I was younger. So I always knew what the consequences would be. I knew the lectures I would get before I got them. Like I already knew, like I was like, oh, here it comes. Like word for word, I could predict everything my mom or my dad was gonna say. So it was more so whenever I got caught, it's like, fuck, I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have thought ahead a little bit more. So I never learned my lesson when I was younger. No, I don't think so. I think I just got
I
better.
never learned my lesson.
He's like, all them ass whoopers went for nut. None of that shit worked.
I think
But
because my
that's
mom
what
knew
I
how to get
mean.
to me. It wasn't necessarily the ass whoopings that would like get to me. It was more so punishments. Because I was an outside ass nigga. I loved being outside. I loved doing stuff with my friends. I loved going out to play ball every day. So she knew, like, all right, I didn't get a lot of ass whoopings. I would more so get like punishments. Like, yo, you're not going out for like 3 months.
3 months.
And that was like the worst. Like, I'd rather you beat me bloody.
It's a long ass punishment. I think I've ever been punished for 3 months.
Bro. For sneaking out.
That's damn. And how old were you when you got punished for 3 months?
This is like my first like girlfriend. So I was like 15 years old. Yeah.
Damn, 90 days. Was you counting down on the calendar marking that shit off? Like 90
Son,
days.
I felt like Squidward when he was looking outside at Patrick and SpongeBob from the window. Like, it was an awful feeling, man.
You would tell your friends you was grounded, or you just be like, "Nah, I can't. I don't feel like coming out today because I don't feel."
I was doing it for a while. But you can only hold that off for so long. Yeah.
So yo, I ain't seen Damon in like 87 days.
Yo, he ain't been on Xbox in like 3 weeks, man.
What's going on? Everything all right?
Like, yo, we gotta advance this 2K league. Like, what's going on with that? Like, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
What's the most treacherous shit y'all did as kids?
Treacherous. Damn.
I remember I line for line recreated my report card on WordPad. Like I literally created a 1-to-1 replica of my report card on, like I figured out what font we used and everything. I put more work into the report card than I did into
anything else that year.
Like,
there's a thrill in it. There's knowing that you can get away with some shit. There's a thrill in that shit.
If I put even an ounce of as much energy into schooling that I actually did into creating a fake fucking report card line for line, I would have passed every single class. But I don't know if y'all had this in Jersey, but in New York, in high school, your first report card wasn't numbers, it was letters. So it was either E, U, N, G, right? So it was excellent, good. I don't remember. Do y'all remember them shits?
Yeah, but like it was, we had like S, satisfactory,
S,
and
you
was the worst. Yeah, you was the worst. O was outstanding. That type of stuff.
All I did was change it up one letter grade. So if I had an N, I gave myself an S. If I had an S, I gave myself a G. So like I just raised it up a little bit. So I didn't want it, I was very cognizant of what I was doing. I never wanted to look too, make it look like I had all A's or anything like that. And the way I got caught was, I'll never forget it. I'm in this is sophomore year. My schedule was like period 5 to period 12, right? So I would go into school at like 10 o'clock and then I would get out at like 5:36. I had the latest schedule or whatever. But I remember it was 10th period. One of my friends came in. He was like, man. I'm like, yo, what happened? He's like, they sent my report card home because I didn't, if you don't get it signed, they mail a copy to your house. So I completely forgot about that part of the fucking deal. And it's like 10th period. So it's like 3 o'clock, 3:30. And I'm like, I don't get out for another 2 periods and my mother's gonna be home. I don't even have fucking time to like intercept the mail or anything like that. She's just gonna fucking come in the house and like open up the mail and it's gonna be a completely different fucking report card than what she saw already. And I'm literally like shitting my pants on the way fucking home. And this is how I knew that she got the fucking mail. When you walk into my apartment, My bedroom is all the way in the back, and my computer desk is like right behind my door. So if you're looking in the bedroom, if somebody's on a computer, you can see them and they can see you. And so my cousin was on the computer when I walked in, and he hit me with one of those like yo, bro. My heart dropped into my dick, bro. Like, I swear to God, I couldn't breathe. I dead ass could not breathe, son. My mother did the sit down, right?
Man.
So, you got to sit at the kitchen table. And she's like, so what, the report card you showed me before wasn't really your report card? I was like, no. She's like, so where'd you get it? I'm like, I made it. Like, I told her the whole fucking story.
Thinking she was about to be impressed.
Yeah, like I was like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta respect the vision. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this shit went so different in his head.
That shit went completely different, bro. That shit did not go the way it
Son,
went.
you made this?
You know how like in the movies, like when a kid steps out of the line, but it's also like really creative. The parent kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm
potential.
Yeah, you got potential. Nah, that shit did not fucking go like that, man. I was screaming for my life after that, bro. And I think I ended up on punishment for like a solid 3 months off the strength of that. And punishment for me was I was a computer kid, so like she took my whole fucking desktop out of my room and put that shit up in her closet. So like no nothing. I wasn't an outside kid anyway, but I definitely couldn't go outside. No computer, no video games, nothing. Just home, and that was it. And it was
Homework,
like, yeah.
eat, sleep.
Eat, sleep. Yep, that's it. It was bad, man, but I'm still proud of that shit a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I made a fatal error, but the work I put in was for real. You know what I'm saying?
Did you try it again ever again?
Nah, hell no. Hell no. I thought, honestly, I was like, man, if this should go well, I'm going to start just making people's fucking report cards and turn this into a little business.
You had a whole, you had the vision.
I had the vision, man, but that shit didn't go well for me, so it wasn't going to go well for nobody else. But yeah, man.
So is it the most treacherous thing you got caught doing or the most treacherous thing you just did in general?
The most treacherous thing you did and eventually got caught, or, like, you knew you was fucking up. You knew it. Like, man, I'm almost a bad person for like trying to get away with this shit.
Mine again was I felt like I was still kind of innocent, to be honest with you. I don't know if I've told this on the pod before, but this was another one of my ass whoopings. In school, I was a little mischievous, like I was just doing shit that I wasn't supposed to be doing, So it was like I don't know if y'all had this like period in class where like it was like the last period and like it's almost time to school's out or whatever. And so there's not really much going on. The lesson's been done. So like everybody's kind of just chilling, waiting for the bell to ring and shit like that. I think this was 6th grade. Yeah, 6th grade I was in. And my teacher, she was like off doing something, handling something with another student. So like I took something from her desk. It was her keys. It was like her house keys, car keys, whatever, shit like that. See, here's the thing. I was going to give it back to her. But I was kind of waiting for her to be like, "Oh, where's my keys?" And then I'd be like, and I'd give it back, right? Just fun
He was
shit.
like playing a prank, kind of.
Yeah, a prank. Like, all right, let me get it,
Oh, Trent, you're so crazy.
Yeah, like, where are my keys? Did you see my keys? I give it back, and then it's like I had it the whole time, but that never happened. So naturally, I forgot that I had them in my pocket. So dad comes, he picks me up, I go home, right? We walk inside, and I don't live too far from the school. For those who are familiar with the Jersey area, my school is in Englewood. I live in Teaneck. That's not far at all. Not that far at all. And obviously, I'm taking off my clothes, whatever, like when you get home from school, you just, get ready to get into shit, whatever. And I reach into my coat pocket because I feel something like, weird. I'm like, what the fuck is in my pocket? And I pull out the keys and I'm like, what is this? And I like open up, there's like a little picture on there and I slide it out and it's my teacher's face with like her family. So I'm like, I got this bitch's keys in my pocket. So now I'm like, all right.
You called her a bitch. No reason. I'm a little bitch. She keyless and she a bitch for some reason.
I was like, yo, I got her keys in my pocket. So now I'm like, all right, how can I spin this? Like immediately I'm like, there's no logical way to get through this. But I tried it anyway. I'm like, let me try and spin this. So I'm like, Dad, he just walked inside. he just got, because I guess he had stuff in the car. He just walked into the door. I'm like, Dad, we gotta go back to the school. He's like, why we gotta go back to the school? I'm like, I have my teacher's keys. And he's like, why do you have your teacher's keys? And I was like, I was playing on the way. I give myself more time to think. And he walks back out the door. We're in a car. So he's like, what's going on? What happened? I had a friend named Dwayne. We were like the class clowns. We was always fucking around in class. So I was like, oh, me and Dwayne.
Dwayne under the bus.
Dwayne went in class.
Was so unloyal. As a youth.
I was like, yo, me and Dwayne, we was messing around. We was throwing the keys back and forth. And I guess at some point, he threw the keys into my pocket and I didn't notice. Right? Like he threw it.
This is worse.
Dwayne threw it. It magically just somehow landed in my pocket while I wasn't looking.
Just into your pocket.
It landed into my coat pocket.
This?
And I guess I didn't notice because we was messing around. My dad, he's not no dummy. So he's like, mm-hmm. And then he's like, so what happened? And I was like, oh, so me and Dwayne, we
tried to spin it back.
We
double it down.
We throw the keys back and forth. And, I guess we was playing, and I guess I changed my story a little bit. I said he put the keys in my pocket, and I didn't notice. So I came on, I said, I have the keys in my pocket. Again, he's like, Trendell, what happened? And now I'm almost in tears because I'm like, all right, I can't keep doing it.
Trying to keep telling the story, but there's more tears every time.
He lived through this thing.
Oh my god!
Lived through this cycle of madness, and I'm like, yo. At some point, I just completely take Dwayne out of it. I'm just like, yo, I was messing with the keys.
I was throwing the keys up and down.
He was juggling the keys now.
Dwayne called my name. I turned my head, and the keys landed in my pocket.
It landed in my pocket. And so it was at the school now. My dad's just like, okay, let's go. So he walks in with me, right? And we walk into school and immediately like the air is off. All the teachers that were still in the building were looking for her keys because she needed her keys. Because I had her house keys, her car keys, all that shit. She couldn't leave. So all the teachers
to call a whole fucking National Guard.
Trendell started looking with them. I would have started looking with them. I mean, like, found
what I should honestly, bro, that's what I should have did. Yeah. What I should have did is say, yo, I forgot some books at school. Let's go back and get my books, put them on the desk, and then just that's it. Or I did something, put them in the closet. Or some
better than me, though. You would have had to wait till tomorrow. Soon as I stepped through those doors behind the back pass into the nearest room I can find, keep walking. Let somebody else find him.
He would have came back to that school and the feds would have been at that fucking school about this bitch keys, bro.
Everybody lined up on the walls.
They would have found him in Dwayne's desk.
Yeah, shout out to Dwayne.
Now Dwayne got to do 5 to 7 because Trendell stole his bitch keys. Didn't want to cop. That's fucked up.
Trendell visit him every week now out of guilt.
So you changed my life, man.
Yo, I'm taking care of the folks out on the outside, man.
Fuck.
So I'll let you know I got you, bro. As soon as you get out of here, I got you. So
that's fucked up.
They running around the school. Literally, like, every teacher is like running around the school looking. And the school's not that big, so they just looking everywhere, every classroom, everywhere. Out in the field, that type shit, right? I'll tell you later why it was this deep. So my teacher's on the first floor, and I get to her, and my dad. We walk up, and I'm like, Miss O'Shea, I have your keys. And she's just like, she makes like a face of like, what? Like, what the hell? So, and she was probably like I think she was maybe in her late 20s, you know? Like I don't know how old she was when she was teaching me, but she had to be like in her late 20s, early 30s, you know, kind of youngish teacher. So I thought it was gonna be like, you know, like not much bigger thing because she was kind of like the cool teacher, you know, like the young one, the one who doesn't really get like too mad about things, but still will check you if you're being. So I'm like, oh, Miss Teacher, Mr. Shaw, I have your keys. I'm sorry, blah, blah, all this other stuff, right? And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, I took them off your desk. I apologize, right? And so now the principal walks over and he's explaining, you know, what happened. So the story is the reason why it was such a big deal that I took this woman's keys was that her pops was in the hospital with cancer and she needed to get to the hospital because it, you know, things were getting pretty bad and she needed to get over there just to be, you know, around her pops and stuff like that. And she couldn't leave because I had the keys.
You might be the worst nigga I've ever met. Like you might be the worst person on the planet, bro. What if that was his last day?
I didn't know none of that.
That woman hates you. Like to this day, bro. She hates
you. She's probably racist now.
Yeah, like
oh my God. Yeah, if she wasn't already.
Yeah. White lady come to this nigga school and one of these nigger children
Now it's justified racism.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Certain people get it honest, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Now we gotta let it rock.
Oh my gosh, Racist Anonymous. Imagine they go to like a meeting and shit. Like when you like what made you become racist?
Yeah, what did the niggers do to you?
So I give her the keys back. And like now I'm like starting to tear up because like my dad is pissed off because after hearing that, it's like, all right, my dad was so pissed that he told the principal and my teacher that he was gonna whip my ass when we got home. He told them to ignore it. He said, if you hear him tonight, ignore it.
It's over.
And I start like, you know, I'm crying, whatever, and, you know, and the worst part is they didn't say, no, it's okay, don't do that. No, I'm like, no, you don't got to do that. It's fine. The keys are here now. But they just stayed silent. They didn't say nothing to him. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's probably illegal. Like I'm pretty sure you can't just tell a teacher that you're gonna beat your child's ass and they just do nothing about it. I mean, at least today they'd probably be like, all right, like this don't seem right. Let's call somebody.
Yeah,
I definitely had a teacher like advocate for me to get my ass whooped one time.
It's happened to me twice.
It was very weird. It was very weird for like to like hear the teacher like promote it. Like, yeah, you know, if you decide that that's something you want to do, I understand. What the fuck?
Like, yo, come on, son. Like, you know, like, this happened to me twice. The second time, my mom came around the school with the belt around her neck. We're not gonna tell that story though. It's another time.
Damn.
But we get home.
Oh my goodness.
My dad, he already know. He's like, yo, like, and I don't know if y'all what type of ass whoopings y'all got as kids. If y'all had to strip, if y'all got bare hand, if y'all got like belt. I don't know, like any object around. I don't know what type of ass whoopings y'all got. But
I was belt.
Yep, I got a strip belt ass whooping, and that shit. It really didn't hurt that much, but it was the fact that I knew it was coming that fucked me up the most. It was like 6th grade, so I was like, you know, I was at that age where it almost stopped hurting.
I thought you said I thought this was like middle school, high school. You was in sixth grade.
This is 6th. I said 6th grade.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. So 6th grade is not middle school. It wasn't middle school for me. That was like the end of grade school.
Isn't that middle school? 6th grade is middle school.
It is now, but like it wasn't. There's a generation gap there.
Yeah, I guess back in the, you know, whatever days you was born. So like. So, you know, it was different.
We still had to count calendars. We still used the calendar with corn, like a little piece of corn was like tell you what day it is and shit.
Yeah. So that's probably like the worst thing that I've done. Then I was like, and to this day, I'm like, all right, I get it. I get why that ass whooping happened. It needed to happen because you can't just go around taking shit off people's desks. So, you know, and like the rest of the year was pretty like, you know, I was the most behaved student in that class. I wasn't saying shit to nobody. I wasn't doing nothing. Me and Dwayne, I wasn't playing nothing with nobody.
Man, Dwayne didn't do anything. Dwayne did not do anything.
Dwayne has no idea this even happened.
It's fucked up, man. Come on, Sneaky Dame. I know you got one.
So this is actually something we actually never got caught for. And nothing related with my parents, actually, either. This is just the one thing I think that's like I really feel bad about. So back when we were younger, I would say like maybe 7th grade, 8th grade, something like that.
Watch the old lady die.
Nah. So, like I said, I used to like being outside. So that would be all throughout time to the day. We used to like being, a little mischievous at night. Nothing crazy. Like we wouldn't like fucking do nothing to anybody's property, damage anything. We just like fucking with people. So we used to like run around doing like, ding dong ditches when that was like a thing. We would take turns. Who could do the most bravest shit, the biggest house, who could wait the longest before they actually come outside to, shit like that. So it came to a point where it's like, yo, let's just start fucking with people we know. So we had this one friend. I ain't gonna say his name. He's probably not even gonna hear this either. I don't mind telling the story because he still doesn't know to this day that this was us. So
that's fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, Javi, that nigga sorry, Javi.
So what we would do, we started off just ding dong ditching his house, right? He used to have like a big backyard that you can access through sneaking through like his neighbor's backyard. So we did that. We would knock on like the back of his door as well. So like, people who are living there, like his mom, his grandparents, they're like they're freaking out all over the place. Then we'd start calling them for a block number. They would answer, we'd hang up. Answer, we'd hang up. Answer, and hang up. To the point where like, oh shit, I said his name. He would pick up the phone. He started picking up the phone. To the point where he started picking up the phone. He started wilding out like, oh, stop calling me. Oh, we're gonna call the police. Shit like that. Then his mom answered one time, and she was like on the borderline of tears. So I was like, all right, yo, let's just get out of here. So we left.
My goodness,
shit, man.
Yeah, we caused mass chaos in that household that night, and we were just literally on the outside across the street, hiding behind a van, just like. Oh.
They probably thought y'all was fucking ghosts or some shit, bro.
Not fucking even, bro. In retrospect, like I can realize how like terrifying that must have been, like dealing with that shit.
Yeah.
Like you get knocked on your back.
This is like one of those. Everybody I feel like has one of these friends, especially when they were growing up, that was just like super gullible, and like they would get like a fair share of the jokes because they were the easier target, or so to speak, because they were so gullible, and how they would get scared is funny. So he was one of those friends. And the funny thing is, like, his whole family was kind of like that.
Whole family got that.
Yeah, y'all all stupid in this motherfucker.
Did he ever like come to y'all and like tell y'all what happened? Y'all was just like, damn, that's crazy.
Nah, man. We never brought it up. We used to do fucked up shit to him. I remember it was his birthday one time. He had this bomb ass birthday cake, right? So we all leave, and it's like he leaves the half of the cake in the back patio. Please, so me and my man, we sneak back there.
I don't want to hear this one. I don't want to hear this one, bro. You know what I'm saying? I think you a decent guy. You know what I'm saying?
We heard enough. I think we heard enough.
We not about to go there, son.
You say, yo, me and my mans. I think, let's leave. Yo, if y'all want to hear the rest of this story, subscribe to the Patreon. Patreon.com/because I am podcast. You want to hear the rest of this story. I think that's good right there. We gotta know.
Game is a demon, my God.
Yeah, I was bad in middle school. You had
a group of friends, like you just did y'all have like a gang, like of friends, like almost like did y'all have like a secret handshake, a name for yourselves, that type of shit? Did y'all have that back in the day?
I didn't have that, but I used to, and I'm not saying this to like sound cool. I used to beat up the niggas that did. Like I used to like purposely be rivals.
It was the Robin Hood.
I used to bullies, nigga. I used to be both.
Vigilante
for some reason, I hated it, bro. Like honestly, it was because I was insecure. You know what I'm saying? Like it was because I was insecure.
You wanted to be in that group?
Yeah, I probably just wanted to be clicked up with them, but I couldn't like, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't like say that enough. So yeah, I just hated niggas that like had cliques and like they used to like do graffiti on their fucking composition books of like their crew name and shit like that. I used to fucking, I don't know,
in the
bro.
back corner
I
of
was
the
a
class.
hater. I was a hater, bro.
Just stealing these niggas, bro. Coloring inside the lines and shit. Fucking bubble letters.
Dude, that fucking secret handshake. Every time we see him, he just mess it up.
Knock their hands away. Fuck out of here, nigga.
What y'all doing over here?
It's fucked
What
up.
y'all doing over here? When a teacher says get in groups, he purposely calls somebody that's in that group. He's like,
Fuck up.
nah, it's my partner right here.
synchronicity.
Yeah, nah, y'all can't sit next to each other. It's my seat now. Yeah, nigga.
Nah, I did not.
You didn't have a group like that?
Nah, man. It was me and my one homeboy. We hated cliques, and we just like we purposely would fuck with people that were like clicked up. I don't know. We was bullies, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was a bully, but I
think I was too. In retrospect,
I wasn't like a. I did
bully
fight
my
a lot,
friends.
but I was also
There's
like,
levels
but I was
to
an
it.
intellectual bully though. Like I used to like clown you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you thought you were cool, I would find a thing that wasn't cool about you and make that your whole fucking story. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my shit, bro. I felt like I did feel like Robin Hood. You know what I'm saying? Like I would be the one to knock niggas down a peg. You know what I mean?
Coolest nigga in school.
What are you giving to the poor?
Find his weakness. What are you? It's making a less cool kid seem more cool.
I was making the less cool kids feel better because I didn't like it. I didn't like exclusivity. Like you know what I'm saying? Like there was a power imbalance, I guess, that I was witnessing, and I internalized it, and I was just like, nah, I don't think this is right.
Yo.
And the way it came out was like, I used to all the girls that thought they was cute, I would make fun of them. You know what I'm saying? Like
I was bullying girls too, bro.
I was bullying girls too. Yeah, it was bad, bro. I'm telling you, I was just very insecure. I know I was.
All these girls with all these insecurities growing up.
I'm gonna call them out. Look, I apologize to Unique. I apologize to what was her name? Spanish girl. She had this little like constant pudge in her belly. She was very pretty, but like I used to make fun of her for being pudgy all the time. It was nothing wrong with her, bro. Like she might have like had, she might have had like an eating disorder because I used to make fun of her all the time.
Oh my Lord.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was not a good kid, bro.
I feel like we passing the buck for the worst nigga in history.
Yeah. Do you feel like bullying now is worse or bullying back then was worse? I know people say, bring back bullying all the time, but I mean, it really hasn't stopped.
You said that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I love bullying, bro. Like I think bullying is like a healthy thing. I think humility is important, and I think making sure that you're aware of like who you are and your privilege. And I think the way people become conscious of that is by getting made fun of. Like I truly, truly believe that. So this idea like that nobody should ever make fun of anybody for anything and we should all just be kumbaya. People are gonna have an inflated sense of importance. You know what I mean? Like I think that's just a natural flaw in the design of participation trophies. You shouldn't be, not saying satisfied, you should always be satisfied with yourself, but like you should always strive to be the best. And if everybody's the best, then there's nothing to strive for. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be ranks. There has to be like the cool kids and the nerd kids, and all of that shit is natural, bro.
Yeah, but you wasn't thinking that deep back in the day. You was just doing it just because
off of instinct, for sure.
Yeah, of instinct. And it was funny. He definitely had this 34-year-old
kids do things, bro, because it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny, instinctual. Like you just feel like, because me, like, and to answer your question, Damon, I feel like bullying back then might have been worse, just because these days it's more so of like a, there's more of like another force that's like, all right, you shouldn't be doing this, and they're gonna handle it, or they're gonna try at least, or like you have people to kind of talk to, I guess.
I think there's just more forms of bullying now. Like,
yeah,
like back then, I feel like you would get bullied by your peers and the people around you. Like nowadays, you can get bullied by niggas that you don't have no idea like who they are, people you've never met before, people you've never meet again. Like, it's one thing to get your ass whooped in front of the school, and it's another thing to get ass whooped in front of the school with everybody recording. And the way that they're pushing the algorithms nowadays, each one of them reels is going to get like 2,000, 3,000 views plus.
Yeah. People love that because people love watching them fights and the videos and shit. World Star was probably one of the worst things that happened.
Yeah.
To, like all the world
to bullying, right?
Yeah.
I think,
But niggas will actually tag you now. You get your ass kicked. Like I saw a video
Yeah.
of somebody
I've witnessed
running.
it. I've seen it.
Somebody was driving a car, ran some nigga over on a bike, and tagged him and was like, "Yo, get up."
oh yeah, I saw that too. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck, bro? First of all, that's attempted murder for one. Like, let's just
Yeah,
be clear.
yeah, that's beyond bullying. But
Yeah.
if you were to go to that man's account, if you went to his account and read the comments, they were lighting his ass up like he was not the
See-
victim or something.
Like, that's the crazy. Like, I've never been in no drama like that, right? I think again, bullying used to be healthy. You have to punch up. I've never been in like one of those high school scenarios where like people were bullying like the weak kids.
Stealing
It
niggas'
was
lunch money.
Yeah, like that wasn't the
Yeah.
thing. It was bullying the kids who thought they were the shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that punching
Leveling
up
the
is
playing
fine.
field.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was about, at least in my middle school and in my high school. But honestly, there was
So-
literally no bullying in high school. I don't even think that existed
Mhm.
because I don't know. Everybody had their role, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like the nerd kids, you helped out the cool kids. You helped out the street kids. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had their role. Everybody had their clique. There wasn't really no room for bullying. We all kind of needed each other. You know what I'm saying?
I think the bullying was more advanced in high school. I feel like, because I definitely, like, looking back, I was definitely the butt of a lot of jokes that I was just like, that I didn't get. Even to this day, I look back and I'm like, oh,
Well, you
that
went to a
was like-
predominantly white school, right?
yeah. I went to a
Oh
pretty,
shit!
But
Yeah,
it was,
let's
but
talk
it-
about that.
But it was like more so like a melting pot. And it wasn't even just like racist stuff. It was more so just like a lot of people would like to bully me because I was always friends with a lot of, well, I don't want to say that because that sounds crazy. But I was,
Girls?
yeah, but that sounds like, that sounds weird. It sounds like I'm a
No, it
fucking
doesn't.
man whore or some shit. Yeah,
No, it don't.
nah,
Nah, it's just you were friends with a lot.
No, not at all.
I was friends with a lot of girls too. Like girls.
I'm an emotional nigga, so I had,
Yeah,
I was
same.
getting more from, like, more friendship out of the girls than I
Girls
did
than-
from the dudes, because I,
Same.
like, I was kind of same as you, bro. I wasn't like the biggest outside kid, I wasn't doing too much, and I like to talk a lot. So, like, girls like to talk a lot, and they had a lot to talk about. Dudes, they really wasn't talking about shit until I got into like online gaming. That's when like my male friendship started to start. But that's neither here nor there. But the bullying aspect was more so like them trying to, like, if they liked the girl that I was friends with, they would kind of like try to like use me to get to them. And if I
Mhm.
didn't help them with that, they'd kind of like, retaliate.
Clown you. Yeah.
Yeah, clown me in a way, talking about like, oh, like, yo, like, oh, you probably like it yourself, you probably all this other stuff. And just like, it would get to points where it would be very much jokes that I didn't understand. Like, I was friends with everybody. Like, it wasn't like a click. It was more so like I was click hopping. So like sometimes I wouldn't get the jokes and everything. And it was fine. It didn't really affect me until I was just like, oh, I look back, it's a little weird. And obviously we did get the black jokes because predominantly white school, the whole turn off the lights. Oh, where's Trindell? You can't see him unless he smiles. We all got
Fuck
that. Y'all ain't get that?
I went to a very mixed
I
race
ain't get
school. Like I went
Oh,
to
okay.
my school had a lot of Asians, a lot of Spanish, you know what I'm saying? Like it was honestly, it was mostly black and Spanish and like
Same
a
here.
decent amount of Asians. You know what I'm saying?
We had a lot of
it was-
Albanians, and
Oh,
like
really?
the Albanians, they didn't really like. They were actually pretty cool in our town. It was the Polish and all the Macedonians, all the Ians.
Yeah.
It was just them.
I had
Okay.
a Jewish friend and she never spoke to me again because the movie Passion of the Christ had come out. And I'd made some pretty terrible jokes about. I think Mel Gibson did that on purpose. Like he wanted people to feel that way about Jewish people, but I didn't realize that she was Jewish. What I didn't realize was that people that were Jewish were from the Middle East. Like I thought they were like Ashkenazi Jews, like the white Jews, the ones with the the curlies and shit.
Orthodox.
Yeah, and then there were like Israelites, the black Jews, right? I thought those were the only two kinds of Jews. I didn't know about this whole Mediterranean kind of Turkish, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't cognizant of that at the time. And I made some pretty I'm not gonna repeat them. They were terrible. But I made some pretty nasty jokes about Jewish people. So I apologize, Svetlana. My bad. I did not mean. I didn't even realize that you were Jewish when I said that shit. She's never gonna fucking hear this. But
we should call up next week.
She probably still has me blocked on everything.
Oh, that was that bad?
Yeah.
God.
I never, and we were mad cool before that. That was my homie. And yeah, I made some pretty, and this is like 2004, so it's only a few years after 9/11. So like people are very sensitive about like terrorist shit. And like it was like a combination of terrorists and like Jews. I don't know who the fuck I thought I was when I was 16 making these jokes, but it didn't go well. I lost a good friend that day.
Terrible, bro. It's fucking awful, bro. The thing with like getting bullied like in middle school, it's like, yo, some of the jokes weren't even that funny. Like it's so weird how like we were mad immature.
It was just like the fact jokes. It was literally the same jokes every week, repeated.
Yes, bro. Yes,
and when you're younger, everything is just funny when you repeat it.
Yes, it was, bro. Our thing in middle school was that like if we knew your mom's
made a whole career off that.
If we knew your mom's name, that was just the joke. Like there was this one dude, his name, like his mom's name was Karen. So like, anytime he would say something, we'd be like, all right, Karen. And then everybody would start laughing because it's like,
that's not funny at all. So.
It's like if we knew your mom's name, then shit was funny. And it's like people just, I don't know, it was like probably some sort of like, some joke on like us knowing your moms, or us, assuming that or implying that we know your moms like that or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Probably
I was definitely that one too. Like I would make like inappropriate jokes about niggas' moms. Like that was definitely like.
When was if you remember your first my mom's dead, my grandma's dead shit? You remember that first interaction? You ever had one of those? I'm sure you had. I did.
Yeah, for sure I did, and I think my response was, I don't give a fuck. Like I think.
Oh my lord, bro!
Yeah, I think.
I've never got hit with that in person. Only online.
Nah, I definitely got hit with that in person, but I don't think it was the mom. I think it was like the grandmother or something like that.
Yeah,
and
that's when I stopped talking about grandmother. I started talking about like closer. I'm like, all right, your parents, your brother, some people that are younger, because like not everybody got grandparents. So
yeah, not everybody got grandparents. That's fucked up. That's a fucked up thing to think about. Like not everybody got grandparents, but
I started hitting like, all right, let me not go that high. Let me just stay at the parents, But then not everybody got parents, so it was tough, man. That's cool. But I remember I made fun of one of my great friend's uncles. And I got in trouble for that because he started crying during class. Those memes where it's like, where it was like a meme where it's like when you playing too rough with your cousin, like with your little cousin, they start crying, and you try to get them to stop crying. It's like, yo, chill out. It's not that.
I was actually that little cousin too.
I know it actually came to a point with us where it's like we wouldn't say like, oh, your mom, your grandma. We'd be like, oh, your great uncle or your double great grandmother, like some shit like you don't even know them niggas. So
get
it
like, far back. Get it up out of here.
It's not gonna hurt you.
Fucked up.
Yeah, I made fun of my dudes. I was like, yeah, uncle, blah blah blah, this other shit. And he started crying in art class, and the teacher obviously asked him what's wrong. He was kind of he didn't handfold. He kept it quiet for the most part. Then eventually he did, fess up and say, what happened. I was making fun of his uncle or whatever, and his uncle just died. And that's when I felt
bullshit. I think that'd be bullshit. Like us as kids, we not really as close to like adults as we fucking pretend. You know what I'm saying? Like
I can't do that, bro.
If I was like 8 when my grandmother died, my nigga, like I don't know how sad I would have been. Like,
but it's not even just that. Like it could be the family around you.
Yeah,
like, it depends. It depends because like I know people that were like raised by their grandmothers. Well, so I can imagine like maybe at like a 7 or 8 years old, like somebody who was like raised, So I guess it's all subjective. It's person to person, case by case. I could say like if I was 8, obviously I'd be affected if somebody like my brother or my cousin, or that was like my cousin like Ricky, who was like super close to me, like somebody like that, rather than an aunt that maybe, I wasn't super tight with or something, or even like Ricky's parent or something like that. Like that wouldn't have hit me the same way. So I definitely think it's just based on who it is and what your relationship is. But I can't say that either.
Even if there's no relationship with a direct person, sorry to cut you off, Just, but it's like some kids are empaths. Like if my uncle dies, like my mom or my dad's gonna be very like, upset about it. So like I might feel what they're feeling through how they're feeling it. Like I cried during 9/11 and I didn't know what was going on necessarily, but I still cried because
you don't think you're projecting? Like you don't think you were like just simulating those emotions because that's what you saw? Not because everyone else was crying, so you felt like you were supposed to be crying?
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's like, it's hard to like really separate those because, we're kids and, you don't really, and looking back, I'm sure, because I probably could talk to him today and he probably does remember that situation. And I probably could ask, like, why was you, why'd you cry? Like, why'd you, that shit really
he was like 4
you?
when that nigga died, bro. Like, you don't remember him at all.
Yeah, no,
I remember my next door neighbor died. My next door neighbor, Miss Katie. And I used to like, my mom used to send me to her house to get eggs, like when we didn't have eggs. And I cried when she died for like 30 minutes, bro. Like I cried my fucking eyes out. And I remember literally saying out loud, where are we going to get eggs now? Like I was upset about everyone else was crying and I was upset about the eggs, bro.
Go to
that's how kids, you know what I'm saying? Like rationalize things. It was like, there's going to be nobody, like someone else is going to move into that apartment. And if we have a close enough relationship with or we could just go get our own fucking eggs. Like this wasn't the egg lady. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you want to ask the next neighbor for eggs, they going to call the police.
You know what I'm saying? Like, see now if Miss Katie was here, we would have been all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I remember distinctly like acting out emotions as opposed to actually feeling them as a kid. You know what I'm saying? That's why like now as an adult, as a fucking father, I actually wanted it to like the conversation to kind of like lean more that way. If y'all kids start fucking up in school or bullying or making fun of people and stuff like that, are you going to be able to be the straight man and kind of like, hey, son, daughter, like, this is not a good thing? Or are you going to try to like be empathetic and kind of, hey, I remember when I was that kid. And I understand that that's funny, but you also have to act a certain way when you outside. You know what I mean? Because you can do both.
I don't know. It depends on the kid, to be honest.
I think it's one of those things. I'm never going to encourage my kid, to just keep on doing it, especially if it's making the other kid feel bad. I think I could feel a certain way. Like, I could feel like, oh, I remember when I was a kid and like this was my best friend and we, like we would just do that and that was just like the way it was. But I think this is something that you mentioned like the first time we recorded. Like, there's just some things that you can't say to your kid even though you feel it. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I know that deep down, maybe what you're doing isn't the worst thing in the world to this kid, I can't tell you that because at the end of the day, that's bad parenting.
Right.
To encourage you to keep on doing this fuck shit.
But is it though? Like, so for like, I'll give you another example. Like my daughter recently got into a spat with another kid and they were threatening each other, right? The school called me and told me that my daughter threatened a little girl and said she was going to
beat the stuffing out of her.
No. Close. But she said she was going to hit her in the head with a hammer. Right. And so literally
that sounds so like violent hearing it from somebody else. But like hearing it from a kid, I'm sure it's just like it's not that deep.
Right. Like where you gonna get a hammer? You probably can't even carry one. You know what I'm saying? Like there's issues with your logic.
Hearing it back, he's probably like, Mr. Wright, your daughter had said that she was going to and I quote, hit just Jerry upside the head with a hammer,
right?
Which sounds a lot worse when you say it, but like in reality, she probably was like, "I'll hit you with a hammer." It's like,
exactly. Like there's
which
no
is not
validity
that.
to this threat.
Yeah.
Right? There's
Yeah, no
none
way.
whatsoever. But you
No way.
still gotta be a parent, right? You still gotta tell the kid, you know what I'm saying? Don't go around threatening your classmates. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Right.
appropriate, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's the like direction I took it, as opposed to like, you know what kind of damage you could do to a child
Yeah.
if you were to hit them in the
Yeah.
head with a hammer? You know what I'm like? It just, I didn't want to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna take this thing. This is not a serious thing. You know what I'm saying? And again, maybe I'm just wired different, but like, I don't know. I don't want to pretend and like play the role of a father. I kind of just want to have a human connection with my kid and make sure that we're having honest conversations. You know what I'm saying, with one another. Because I think as you get older, you start to peel back the flaws of your parents and you start to notice hypocrisy in them because, you know, and it makes you act out more. That's my thought pattern, right? It's like, because a lot of kids justify their bullshit by finding out that their parent also did it, right? So, like Dame said that his mom had him when she was 16. So, because of that, that is part of the reason why he acted out as a teenager, right? Because when you realize that your parents aren't perfect, it gives you license to not be perfect, right? Because the only person you trying to be perfect for when you're a child is your parent. You know what I mean? Like that disappointment in their eyes, that upset, the part of them that gets upset makes you upset. So when you start to kind of look at the hypocrisy, it's just like, man, you're not even on the shit you say you on. If my kid notices those things, that they're going to use that as justification. But I think if at least if I'm showing them that things aren't always what they seem, and like parents are not perfect, adults are not perfect. So I think we're kind of able to have a more realistic relationship. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the thought. I don't know if I'm doing this shit right. Again, this shit don't have no fucking manual and none of that shit. So who the fuck knows, right? But you know,
Facts.
that's the idea.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I really don't know what I'll do when I get to that point.
All I know is in about 5-6 years, when a lot of the Gen Zers become parents, it's probably going to be the most. I'm probably going to get off of social media at that point because all these woke posts that you think you're seeing now with self-care, these affirmations, all these different type of posts from these spiritual and wellness accounts, they're all going to transition into parenting accounts. So we're trying to give you all these different remedies on how to be the best parent and how to doing early affirmations with your kid, like just videos like that where it's like, nigga, just let people let people learn on their own how to be a parent. You know what I'm saying? Like people are so quick to just like, it's the information age right now. You know, everything's at your fingertips. So everybody wants to be the first person to tell you how to do something, to tell you the right way to do something. Like I can't tell you how many times I look at my phone and I realize that something I do in my life is killing me. Like, like the type of water that you drink, the type of soda that you drink, the coffee that you drink, the potato chips that be at the fucking store, the produce that be at the store, what's good for you, what's bad for you, all these oils, like, yo, shut the fuck up. It's just everywhere. I'm like you. I think you said this a couple years ago. One day you're just gonna be like off social media for good.
Yeah.
And I remember you said that a while back ago, so
yeah, I would like
I'm not
to.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna go through a lot of different changes, and I'm not sure what it's even gonna be at. I'm not sure what social media is still gonna be around. You know, like because I'm honestly like, when you think about like Facebook and like all the people that's alive that's on Facebook, you know, it's a certain group of people that are still like active on Facebook. And like you think about the better people that are active on like Instagram and like all this, it's different like demographics. So
Yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
know, I don't know where that's gonna change or what like where, you know, the new social media is gonna be. Like think about TikTok. All the people that's growing up with TikTok now, is it gonna blow up one day, like where it just, you know, it just kind of like Vine, where it just like stopped, like they just shut it down? Who knows? Are they gonna, you know, change it up? Are they gonna make it more like, you know, heavily profile based? Like who knows what's gonna happen? It could go through a big shift in the sense where it becomes almost like,
Especially if they ban that shit.
yeah, you can start writing shit, or if they
We've been
ban it,
talking about that for a while now.
yeah, if they ban it, then like everybody's gonna be like, where do we go next? You know, but there's a whole like we won't even know what's coming. We have no idea. It might be on the metaverse. I'm not on there, so I don't know. But there's a lot of different options for like that to happen.
I did want to talk about the Oculus for a little bit now that you mentioned the metaverse, because we were talking in the group chat the other day, and Justin made a comment about, because I said, I think about getting an Oculus one day, and Justin's like, oh, it's funny how you think it's optional. So I wrote that down because I want to know why you feel like everything is going to be centered around the metaverse and the Oculus, and why do you feel like that's just going to be like the new common thing that everybody just has in their household?
Because all of the money that people with all of the money are putting into it. I think it's going to be a point where it's so easy to access, because right now it's a niche thing, right?
Yeah.
But everything was a niche thing at one point. Twitter was niche. Instagram used to just be for photographers, right? You know what I'm saying? So all of this stuff used to be super niche. There was like, I remember a video of like Joe Budden, Wale, and Nicki Minaj talking about Twitter back in 2009. They was at the BET Awards Cypher, and they were making fun of Nicki. She's like, they were like, she thinks she's the shit because she has 10,000 followers on Instagram, and Wale had like 2,000, and like Joe Budden had like 1,500. And it was like, Nicki thinks she's the shit because she has 10,000 followers. 10,000 followers. Nicki probably has 30 million followers on Twitter now.
All right, more than that.
You know what I'm saying? Like these things are, it's only a matter of time. What they're doing with like concerts and like, it's going to be a point where it's going to be FOMO. You know what I mean? Where it's simply where everything is. You know what I'm saying? And if you, the NBA finals completely in the metaverse, like, boxing matches that are highly touted boxing matches, UFC matches, NFL, you get part of your sports package. You also get front row seats to the game in the metaverse. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to start selling these things like they're real products. And I believe that I've seen stuff about like folks purchasing like clothing items that are like straight up digital. So when Kanye makes the new Yeezy and it's only available in the metaverse, like people are gonna go get it. They are gonna go get it. So it's gonna go into politics. It's going to go into porn. It's going to go into everything because they're putting so much money. Yeah, but
porn been in the VR game for a long
ass
time now.
Yeah, but I think it's still niche in a way that I don't have an Oculus or anything like that. So I think there's going to be a point where FOMO, which is like probably the most powerful thing in the world for American society, where you're going to kind of be forced to choose. You know what I mean? Whether or not you're going to be in there. And once everybody is in there, everybody's going to want to be in there. You know
I wrote
what
a script like this a long time ago. So crazy.
It was like a short film?
Yeah, like a short film script. No, it's called Less Than 3. It was like a heart symbol. But it was kind of like and I think I told this story before, like where it kind of got rejected by my teacher because she thought it was too unrealistic.
Funny.
And I had it in the year of 2077 where everyone is like, VR is like, it's not even an option anymore. It's normative. Everybody's in there, and they start, changing the laws around like what can happen on the outside. Like, you're not allowed to procreate. Like, people aren't out here like procreating. You're not really allowed to be in the same space as people. You can't like, it's not safe. It's not as safe anymore to just be around the people. Like, human connection isn't as on the outside isn't as it's not suggested.
It's almost as if there's a disease that if you get within 6 feet of one another, you may or may not infect the other, and it'd be best if everyone just stayed away from each other or in the house. And then Netflix creates a series called The Circle, in which people only communicate via digital means, and it's a hit TV. Like, it's kind of weird how like
yeah. it's
how those
kinda,
things gotta run together.
which I also heard Black Mirror is coming out with another season. I don't know what the fuck that shit's gonna be about because they're already like, I don't know what it's gonna be about now because they already have told us a bunch of stuff that's going on now versus a lot of stuff that's coming.
The episode of Downward Spiral, I believe it had Bryce Dallas
The
Howard
liked
in it.
one
Yeah,
was what I
about
was
the
with
likes. Yeah,
yeah,
where like that
Nosedive.
shit really
Rashida
affected
Jones directed that. Yeah,
that shit really affected your life outside of social media, where you could literally give each other a like for like common interactions, like holding doors and stuff like that. And this person's entire rating just went to shit. And it's like, what about that isn't already happening?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is
Yeah, that's a
cancel
big thing
culture.
that's
Like
thought
it
about
literally
too,
is
yeah.
cancel culture. You know, so
it's not as drastic, I think, as that episode, but I definitely think that there is a social media already attached to you and how people view your social media, how they treat you
in person, yeah.
in person. Yeah, there definitely is like a rating that people give you. Because listen, my Instagram ain't for the weak-hearted. A lot of people like judge me based off of my Instagram profile, which I didn't think it was that deep. I never thought it was that deep. But eventually it got to that point where a lot of people were kind of like, they would send me they would think I'm into everything that I'm posting. And it's like they would send me memes or they'd send me things and I'm just like, yo, I'm not posting this for
this
me. I'm
is
posting
fucked
this
up
for y'all. Yeah, like this is very bad. And I have to tell them like, yo, listen, I don't enjoy this. Like I need you to like sometimes I'll break the facade of like, all right,
yeah.
like yeah. I don't like this. Don't send me, and I tell people all the time, don't send me memes because I'm not gonna find it. You don't know what I find funny. I can promise you. Like some things I post that I find funny, but most of the shit is just because people react to it. People like the shit. So I'm just like, all right,
that's interesting.
This is what people like to.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, the way Trendell runs his social media account is very, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm very much
very interesting.
How do you feel about people that don't post pictures of themselves on their social media? Like most of their page is memes or like their profile pic is not a picture of themselves. I'm mostly talking about like Twitter, Facebook, like people that you're actually interacting with that don't have any pictures of themselves on like, so like, do you find that you take them less seriously if
it's easier
you
to
can't see
troll
their
when
face?
you like that.
Yeah. It's definitely easier to troll it. And those are the people that typically have like the hottest takes or like the most disrespectful tone, right? When it comes to like
niggas
maybe
with the anime avatars
or whatever. Yeah, niggas with the anime avatars, some fucking random sexy. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
like,
whoa.
That's the point of the.
Should I mark that? Yeah, I'm gonna mark that.
Nah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, nah.
Cut that one.
That was too much of a space in between.
Like you gotta think. If there's a day where I'm not editing this and somebody else is editing this, they can make shit sound weird. You gotta think sometimes like that. It's so weird.
No, you're right.
But I get what I kind of get what you mean in a sense where it's like they're hidden behind that profile. My biggest thing is that the people that be hiding behind the black, which is so interesting to me, the people that have black profile pictures, like black people profile pictures, that be saying, black, be saying wild shit or be saying the N-word and shit, and people kind of like jump at you and you're like, yo, I don't think like
I
you're
don't
not
think
saying
this is
it.
a black person.
I don't think you're actually black. Like I think you just have a black person's profile picture, but I don't think you actually, which is always funny. Like it's always like interesting to me.
I think a lot of these accounts are bots too. Automated responses and shit.
Have y'all ever like got into one of those debates with like someone that you after a while was like, man, this is very likely a bot?
Yeah, definitely.
Only on Instagram because on Twitter, I feel like it's more in your face to like if somebody responds, I'm gonna just click on their account right away. Because like I feel like the Instagram comments, they're more so filled with words. So I'm not gonna fuck around most of the time to just click on their account. Whereas Twitter is like their whole tweet is filling up your whole screen, you know what I'm saying, type shit. So there's less of a I don't know what I'm looking for, but something to entice me to click on their name on Instagram. rather on Twitter.
Right.
I'm gonna try to find out as much as I can about them and flame them. You know, niggas love doing that, going on their Instagram, going on their Twitter account, screenshotting their profile picture, and be like, I know this nigga ain't saying you know? That's the go-to. That's the go-to Twitter move.
Tell Jerry to relax. How's Jerry? And then Jerry be like,
Exactly. Oh yeah.
We don't gotta go too deep into this, but like, just know, and I don't know if you knew this already. I feel like I've talked about this before, but there are people whose job it is to tweet and like put out this type of information. And it's not even all just here. It's people in other countries. Like the classrooms full of people. Like I forgot where I heard this, but I do remember hearing like there's like a classroom full of kids who's like the whole class is just responding to tweets. Like you have to like go out and respond to people's tweets on accounts. And so it's not necessarily bots, but the response is you might as well be, because you're not giving your perspective, you're giving a perspective. If your job is to sow discourse or to like, muddy the waters of a certain topic, and you got about 30 kids in this classroom who are focused on this, you're already like
focused on chaos.
You're already against. You're already on the ropes, because you're not just gonna be responding. Like if 30 kids in a classroom are responding to your tweet saying you wrong, everybody gonna see that, and you just gonna be in that.
At that point, you wrong
now. Like now you fighting against. Yeah, at that point you're wrong.
That is one. I'm gonna mark that. I'm gonna go ahead and just mark that now. It was on my mind and I had to say it.
Jesus,
like I just had to get that out.
Goodness
Thank
gracious,
you,
bro.
Thank you for.
It exists. That's all I'm saying. But let's get into music, because I feel like we definitely.
You want to do Beyonce?
I've been
first?
blessed with a lot of different.
All these other niggas real quick.
Let's do Beyonce last, honestly.
Yeah, I want to do Beyonce last. I feel like we have more to say about her than, unless y'all have more to say about Joy. I have a couple questions about Joey's product. 2000 finally came out. I don't know if this was like one of the things I'm wondering is if this is like almost like a quote unquote sequel to 1999.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the connection there?
Was that was a Joey Badass tape, but how pro era heavy was it? Like, was there a lot of features on there from like?
No, it was a mostly Joe.
I know Kirk Knight Productions, it had a lot of different, I think it kind of fits the similar format for 2000 in a way where it had a bunch of different producers that worked on the beats, I think, because 1999 had a bunch of different, it had a Dilla beat on there, it had Freddie Jokum on there, or Freddie Joaquim, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Okay, I'm looking right now. Kirk Knight, he's like 5 features on there. Last one looks like last song was a posse track, but that's it.
Yeah, Suspect Niggas, love that fucking song, bro. Love Suspect Niggas won't run and hide. That shit was so. 1999 was a fucking banger of an album, bro. Like that shit was insane when I first heard it. World Domination, fucking Don't Front with CJ. Oh my god, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
Chuck Strangers, man.
Yeah.
Which I think about 2000 though.
Fucking incredible, bro. Like I'm actually very not surprised. I think Joey realizes who he is now, right? I think he spent a lot of time in the industry not being 100% sure of how to attack his style for like the radio era and for the streaming era, right? He really was meant to exist in like 1998, right? He really was built for that shit. And so it took a while. And, he had to get older. He had to go through things. He had to have his ups and downs. But 2000 feels very much nostalgic and modern at the same time. The first project, I think it was just Badass. The first album, that his debut major release. I don't know. I didn't love Devastated. You know what I'm saying? I didn't love those records that he had come out with. I thought they weren't him. You know what I'm saying? I felt like he was trying to chase a sound. Yeah. And I was really, really impressed, and like I really enjoyed listening to this version of him because he feels comfortable with his sound and he knows what sounds good with his flow. He's not trying too many things. He's staying in the pocket and he can rap his fucking ass off. He can rap with the best of them.
Hold on, I
So,
want to clarify because Badass came out, but All American Badass was the second one. I think you're talking about All American Badass.
All
'Cause I
American
like
Badass is the one
Badass.
that had what those called Temptation
Devastated.
and Devastated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
I think
yeah.
there's a track with I think it was Legendary, a track with J.
Yep.
Cole. I
Legendary
think.
J. Cole.
Yeah, which was like probably one of the first tracks I heard from it. But yeah, Badass wasn't that bad to me. I like Badass. Had Christ Conscious.
Christ
What's
Conscious
it
was
Treacherous.
called?
fucking hard. My God, bro.
Christ Conscious was it?
Yeah,
Was
that
was
was
the one
nasty.
that had that one like it starts off with like a check my style, check it out, check my style. You know that song?
Yeah.
What's that song name? On Badass?
Why do you
Big
name?
Dusty. Big Dusty.
Yeah.
It's so like such like a I don't know. I don't know why it's called Big Dusty. But I like that song. I like that record too. But yeah, nah, Badass was dope. All American Badass. I still haven't gone back to it to really
Me
digest
neither.
it. But I have it on my iTunes. I just haven't really gone back to it as much.
This shit right
But
here about to get
yeah,
hella spins, yo. Well, this is probably one of my favorite rap albums of the year so far.
yeah, for real.
The opening track, man. The Baddest. Oh my god, that shit starts off crazy. I think first 4 tracks came in strong, man. The song with West I think I love the features on here. Track with West
Yeah.
Side, track with Larry Jones.
What-
Static Select body. He did like half of this album. He bodied the whole half
Static
that he did.
Selector has really become like one of
Bro,
my
he's been one of my favorite
one of my
producers
top
these last
producers.
couple of years. I sent you that
Yeah.
tape he did
Static
a
is
couple years
crazy.
ago,
He's been
right?
crazy.
Yeah.
Like the tape that he did a couple years ago. Pardon me, I don't remember the name, but I know I shouted it out on the pod before. Still
Definitely, yeah. I know
from
what you're
that
talking
year,
about.
one of my
It's a
favorite drops from that
balancing
year.
act.
Yes,
Is it called
Balancing
Balancing Act? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Dope.
still one of my favorite drops from that year.
I even really like the Welcome Back record with Chris Brown and Capella.
And Capella.
Like that, he again, bad. Like Joey has found how to incorporate, modern sensibilities with his more laid back. It's not as wordy, but it's still lyrically dense. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just very it's very mature. It's a very mature sound for him, and I really enjoy what he's doing.
He's in the last few years. He's spent a lot of time getting a lot of success. Behind the scenes, doing a lot of writing for other people, getting his first Grammy off of another artist. You know what I'm saying? So he's been able to figure out off of other artists and other artists' success the things the pieces that he needs, the elements he needs to figure out. To bring into his own shit, and while staying true to himself at the same time.
Yeah, learning and maturing, definitely. But like the run for me, bro, from Zip Codes, it's like it starts with Zip Codes. One of Us was like, Static Selector was dope for me. Welcome Back that was my shit, bro. That transition from One of Us into Welcome Back, I was going crazy. And I was actually on my way to Brooklyn when I was listening to this album in full. So I was like, damn, I'm loving this shit. Then Show Me, which is dope. That's the
Show Me is hard.
It has the what's the sample? Let me like that sound like yeah. Wanna be loved, dope feature with JID, which it sounds like a beat that JID would be on. Cause like when I listen to this album, like when I listen to albums first, I don't look at the features. Like I just kind of listen. I don't look at the track names, nothing. I just listen to it. And I'm so glad I heard JID on the beat once he came, because I was just like, yo.
I need another solo project from JID pretty soon.
Yeah,
it's been a while. He dropped, the beginning of the year, surround sound song. That's amazing. But other than that, I've only really been hearing him on the, the big posse record, Dreamville, Spagillion.
Dreamville. Yeah, they just recently dropped a video for that song too. That was off that mixtape too. That was off that that random Dreamville mixtape that came out.
Yeah.
They just dropped the video
Girl?
like 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah, they just dropped that like 2 weeks ago. I think the video for it. The track that he was on with what's his name? What's that dude's name that came out? I got
Sheck West.
Oh,
Sheck West. Yeah.
I have
not
given that album an honest listen yet, or an honest second listen at least. I didn't like it. I wasn't too hot on it the first time around, and I guess I just haven't gone back to it since. But maybe I should, out of respect to drama, at least.
I'll try to get to it. But,
I thought it was.
Head
I thought
High
it was good.
was amazing with
Oh
his
yeah,
story about X was dope, like all that stuff was going on, like great.
mad
Seemed like it was a
transparent on this
sample.
album.
Yeah, yeah, and that's Survivor's Guilt, like which I haven't. I know you guys heard it first. I didn't hear it yet until like I listened to a little bit of it, but I didn't like listen until this album, bro. That shit was
You
deep.
know what? I never
Yeah,
noticed how quiet he had been about Steve's passing until he talked about it here. And I didn't know the stuff with like the family and stuff, having negative things to say about him.
Yeah,
And I'm sure that's very fucking hurtful when your best friend goes through
for real.
something. And, one of the lines where he says, Steve's struggle with his mental health, but try to say that shit in 2012. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
bro, that's
it's real
shit.
shit.
Yeah.
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 Shit. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
real
Like,
shit.
yeah. How many of us still struggle or definitely were struggling 10 years ago, was not willing to talk about it, was not willing to get help, you know what I mean? And things,
And people wasn't understanding, especially in the rap game. People
yeah,
wasn't like,
yeah.
nah, wasn't gonna fly. It's
You had
it's
to have,
honestly probably still won't as much, in the
right.
rap game where people if a rapper says I'm not gonna drop because I'm not feeling well or I don't feel like, my mental
Yeah.
health isn't well, he's not trying to hear that, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
And Cap Steez, if you listen to his music, if you knew anything about him, he was very paranoid is the wrong word, but just very like like he didn't trust what was going on around him, right? And seeing an opportunity like that might have scared the shit out of him. You know what I mean? It might have been like, nah, they gonna come get me. Like that would have been how somebody at his current state would have internalized it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can imagine him being very scared in that moment and him being very unsure of what the future was and when you have other things happening inside your mind, how bad that can fucking get. So
bro, that bar almost had me in tears, dog. Him
yeah,
talking about when he caught a wave, came back to shore, he left his man drowning. That
yeah,
shit was
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
this is very, very, very impactful. Which I'm like, yo, I'm glad that he could be that transparent and share that part of his life with fans, because at the end of the day, it's like some fans don't really care. They just care about the music. They don't want to hear like, about your struggles and stuff like that. They really care just about the music. But I feel like Joey Badass has definitely separated himself from like an artist that people don't care about the personal or like the mental health of and really just care about what he's saying. And I feel like that comes a lot from just being an MC and like actually having people listen to what you're saying instead of like, saying a bunch of bullshit and then trying to be like, yo, this is really how I'm feeling about stuff. I feel like it's an easier transition for artists that are already speaking to you to like make that way into like, all right, let me be transparent. Let me tell you about how I'm feeling. If I'm like already like being poetic about things. So it's almost like you're viewing poetry,
Yeah.
and like a
yeah,
lot of these different artists, they're not in that stance of like you're not really listening to what they're really saying. You just care about the beat and if it's hot, you know what I'm saying? So, it was definitely was like a song that like I don't know. It hit me the hardest, I think. Like out of all the tracks, I enjoyed the album, but like that track is definitely super memorable. And again, yeah, R.I.P. Capital Steez because like that was, you know,
yeah.
very very deep.
And RIP Cap Steez, man. And my heart goes out to anybody that's struggling with mental health even today. Obviously, on the last pod that we had, we found out about Jack Knight, and it turns out that the cause of his death was self inflicted. And, again, try your hardest when you're in those moments to get help and find somebody that loves you and cares about you that you trust to talk about it with because um, you are loved and people are going to miss you and people are going to be affected if you are not here. So just it's difficult. It is. But if you can make that phone call and and people, if you know that your people are not okay, check up on them. you know your voice might be the thing. Maybe they're not going to tell you. Maybe they haven't disclosed it to you, but your voice, your words, your laughter is the thing that pulls them back. So check up on each other, man, because it's real out here.
Facts. Well said. Well said. Y'all have your favorite tracks from this tape too?
For me, it's gonna be the baddest brand new 9/11, One of Us, and then Survival's Guilt.
Mine was definitely Survivor's Guilt. I really loved Written in the Stars too. I thought that was
excellent closing track.
Wonderful way to end
outro.
the album. Yeah, wonderful way to end the album for sure. I really, really like that Welcome Back record with Chris Brown and Capella, man. I thought it was really, really
I'm
dope.
looking at it on Spotify right now. I'm surprised it's like the second least streamed song on the album.
Welcome Back?
Yeah.
Man, it's because, again, people are not going to go to Joey thinking he's going to make what could be a hit record. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go for the real shit. And I love it when artists who are kind of like underground or have like that boom bap sound don't leave that realm, but still make a banger that you can play with your girl, you know what I'm saying? Or with people that wouldn't necessarily vibe with that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta completely come up out of that in order to reach more audiences. So, it's just one of those things. Maybe it'll catch on a bit later. Maybe a video will drop, and
I hope so. Yeah. I hope so. I'd like to see some visuals from this for sure. I got a question because go ahead.
No. You said you had a question. I had something about a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I'm like curious because like in one of the songs he had said that he's the reason why a lot of rappers are talking about retirement, and that he puts a lot of people on. But my question for a lot of the rappers that talk that way are like, who are these niggas? I'm always wondering like, who are you really talking about? And I'm not like, and this is not like a diss or nothing. I really am just curious because a lot of people always talk about like, I set the bar, I'm the precedent, I'm the person that I put these niggas on. The reason why rappers are doing what they're doing today is because of me. It's like, can you cite your sources? Can you give some examples? And I'm always curious because like we want to give you your flowers, but you can't be vague. You got to tell us.
Whenever I hear an artist talking shit like that, I always think that he's talking to either his peers, like the niggas that like he came if I came in 2012, like all the niggas that came in around the same time as me. So if I'm talking like if J. Cole were to say some shit like this, I would think he'd be talking about somebody like Drake, Big Sean, Wale, somebody else who came in the game around the same time as him, or somebody who came in after.
He did say him, Dot, and Cole on the baddest. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, baddest MCs alive. Him, Dot, and Cole. I think he said that.
Which was a fire record too. Which was a fire line as well, right? I mean, obviously he doesn't have the number of songs, right? The number of bangers, but I think Joey planted his flag as like one of the dopest young MC. Well, is he still young? I guess he is because he was super young.
Yeah, he's like 27. Yeah, he's 27. Yeah.
So
we talked about that a couple.
Yeah, he's still pretty young. So yeah, it's just. I think he's talking about his friends. I always think, don't let these niggas tell you that I ain't put them on. Nigga, you talking about the niggas in the studio.
Like niggas in your city.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
I was thinking niggas like in your city, like a regional thing, like all these other Brooklyn niggas.
The only rapper that really is about that like I started all that shit is Soulja Boy, because I still have not been able to prove that nigga wrong. That nigga really did start everything, bro. First rapper with an iPhone. First rapper on YouTube. That nigga got receipts.
First rapper on Xbox Live.
Yeah, like what you gonna do? First rapper with Instagram verified check. Yes, nigga, he really did.
Turned out
shit is crazy, but he did.
I want to go back to your Brent Faiyaz take, not necessarily talking about the album in general, because you feel how you feel about the album and how he, his singing abilities, whatever. But in terms of just being tired of the toxicity and the toxic theme around male R&B, I'm with you 1,000% because Dvsn dropped this track. That shit is a pack of ass. Yo,
He
that
dropped just one
Jay-Z,
track, or was it an album?
It was one track.
it was one track, but the whole thing was a
Yeah.
pack ass.
It was
Like
awful,
the
bro.
Jay-Z sample was this awkward.
And I love the Division, bro.
Girls, I was gonna get right back.
I love the Division, man. I love Division. I love,
Me too.
Daniel's voice. Man. I think they're dope. That song is ass, bro. Like that song is not good at all. And the fact that
I can't even enjoy it, bro.
Right.
I can't play this song anywhere. Like, if my girl around.
The people that are talking about it are only talking about, even the people that like it, they're only going, ooh, it's so toxic. They're not actually saying, ooh, I love this song. Like, I like the melody. I like the vocals. The beat is dope. Like, no, they're just talking about the content.
I'm over it now. Brent took up all the toxic. He took all the toxic points that you could took, and he used them all up in that album. Like, yo, I don't want to hear nothing more toxic. I want to hear simps from now on. I want to hear niggas crying in the rain again.
Yeah,
which I hope the next Brent project, because when he drops again, I probably will listen. I hope the next Brent project, he grows up a little bit and he's like on a different stage, because I think the man is talented. He has Saunders-son. Like he's talented as hell. I like his projects. I loved Fuck the World, which was toxic too, but at the time, like there's a lot of different songs on there that weren't all just toxic. Songs like there that I felt like were kind of inspirational and just nice sounding. So he got the talent, but like I hope that the purposely toxic shit, which it's all not his fault. Sometimes he's trying to reach a demo, the people that like enjoy it. There's a lot of people out there like, I love that toxic shit, which you really don't. Like people that say they love that toxic shit.
Maybe it's just because we're like happy now.
Yeah.
Like, a couple years ago, maybe when I was single and just doing whatever, like I was singing Clouded with my fucking heart, like just on my sleeve. You know what I'm saying? But now
I got too many hoes.
Yeah, now it's like, that shit don't be hitting the same no more. Like I said, like if I can't even sing it out loud comfortably anymore, but again, like fearing a side eye, I can't.
Nah.
I definitely think it's a part of growing up. You know what I mean? Because I remember, like, old comedians talk about, oh, they'll never sing about love no more. Yeah, when you get to a certain age, like, you don't really like want to hear about niggas' escapades no more. You know what I'm saying? You want to kind of, if you're in that space, you know what I'm saying? You want to hear about shit that you can relate to. And when that's the common theme, it's just harder to justify bumping,
I think I saw a tweet that was talking about like R&B niggas and how they used to handle this back in the day with their toxicity, where it wasn't as apparent. It was more so like poetic, so like I can't think of the examples that they gave at the time, but like the first thing that came to my head was like, if you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight. Like shit like that. Like that bar is kind of toxic, but like the way that it was sang and the way that's like, it's not as like, yo, I'm gonna do some crazy shit to you, I'm gonna cheat on you, I'm gonna go fuck with this other person to come back. You ain't even had to say all that. Yo, if you think you lonely right now, just wait. Just wait till 10 p.m. roll around and I'm not home. Like, yo, that's crazy. Like but it's like to the point where it's not as blatant. And it's the same thing with rap music where people are like, yo, at least back in the day they weren't being as like, or like with R&B music where they're like, they weren't being as nasty. Oh, I want to fuck you. Oh, I want to do all this stuff. It was like more subtle.
Though. No, but they were.
They were, but it,
bro.
They,
think about
but
it.
The majority was subtle. A lot of it was subtle.
Bro, Whitney Houston's one of her fucking most popular songs was "Saving All My Love for You," and she definitely, you've got a family. Like that was like one of the lines. The nigga had a whole family, and she was still like, "But tonight is the night, and I'm feeling all right." Like she was ready to. She was a home wrecker on that record, bro. She was ready to fuck this man's whole family up behind some dick. You know what I'm saying? Like we could pretend like that wasn't what it was, but it was.
But that's not her fault though. That's not her problem. That's she playing her role. She playing her role.
Yeah,
that's
bring
not,
the love
bro.
back,
that's not.
man.
Bring the love,
bring the love back.
Bring love back.
Shout out to Xavier Omar. Dropped a six song EP. That's pretty.
I like
pretty.
Xavier.
That's some positivity.
Yeah,
that's a good music over there.
Xavier. Yeah. We only got a little bit of time left, so like, you want to hop into the big drop, the one that we been anticipating for the month of July.
I'm gonna just say my piece. y'all can't listen to the Drake shit and then listen to the Beyonce shit and tell me that's the same level of fucking creativity and that's the
I don't
same
even think
level
I don't
of
think it's the same
artistry,
music.
bro.
I don't think it's the same music. Period.
It's not.
Because one was some karaoke shit, one was just like playing beats and like doing some karaoke shit over it, and the other was actually incorporating genres into the music. She was in her full Donna Summer fucking like
She
bag,
did her
bro.
research.
It was heavy. It was
Yeah.
heavy. The
Drake
fucking
sounded like he just picked out
transitions, bro.
beats.
It was Drake.
It was just Drake over those beats. Exactly,
Yeah.
man. It was some karaoke shit. And loved Beyonce's approach. Love how much thought she put in, but like, you know, as we said in the group chat, you couldn't even shuffle the fucking album. You have to play that shit all the way through. Records that were already good are now better because of their placement on the album. That's art,
Mhm.
This is
bro.
big
You
for
know what
me.
I'm
I
saying?
always say
That's
that.
fucking
Yeah.
power, you know?
Yeah. Even songs that you're not feeling all the way, you gotta respect because you gotta understand, like, yo, this is a good song still. It's just not for me. Like I know that song Thick, that's just gonna run shit
Yeah,
for
for
women. But it's
sure.
not for me. But that shit goes crazy. And it's right, yo, nobody's gonna spell thick the same anymore. It was regular thick, and then it was THICC. Now it's gonna be
Yo.
THIQUE, and there's nothing you can do about it for the foreseeable future.
For sure.
Yeah, you're
And that's
absolutely
it.
right, bro. Good
That's
ass
it.
point.
And I love that B knows that she sets the table. You know what I'm saying? She takes that role seriously and she makes sure that she's not chasing no sounds. Like every time she comes out, bro, I wasn't a huge Beyonce fan until like 4, which had like Party on it with Andre 3000 and like 1+1 and like that era of B. And like so it was 4, then the surprise Beyonce drop, then I guess Lemonade was right after that, and now this project. And bro, I don't know another well, obviously there's some artists, but I don't know many artists with that bag, bro. Like a lot of people don't have that bag. And if you didn't realize that Beyonce is one of the coldest, one of the greatest artists of all time at this point, I don't know what the fuck to tell you because she is one of the greatest artists of all time.
From the rollout of her talking about she's gonna drop something. Nobody even
Yeah.
knew what it was at first. With
Right.
Renaissance Act 1, nobody knew what that was gonna be. They didn't know if it was gonna be a single, they didn't know if it was gonna be an album, a video. Nobody knew,
Right.
you know? And we still don't know what the rest of the acts are gonna
Right.
be.
I still think there's a video like the same way she did with Lemonade, with like a video
I hope so, bro.
album type thing.
I hope so.
Bro,
I
like
hope so.
I'm already imagining how fucking crazy that shit is gonna look visually. Or like if she goes back on tour, you have to, bro, if you can afford to go see Beyonce do this fucking album, bro, if you've never
Listen,
seen
man.
her before, this is the one. This gotta be the
Listen.
one. She's gonna go crazy.
So that's something that I actually wanted to say because I'm gonna be completely honest. This is the first Beyonce album that I anticipated. The first. I never was running to a Beyonce album. I said this about Kanye too. I never was running like to release dates to like really be like, you know, oh, this is gonna come out, oh, this is about to drop, oh, rumors. I never was doing that. You know, and I'm being completely honest. And I don't know why that is. You know, like I liked Beyonce, I liked the Beyonce album, you know. I liked like some tracks on Lemonade, but it was never like this. You know what I mean? I didn't even know what this album was. Like I was, you know, talking about what I would expect from it. You know, I didn't know what I was expecting from it. I was actually wrong because I think a couple of weeks ago I said it was going to be like some, you know, I thought she was going to have a couple like tracks that were kind of like city girl for the city girls, you know, that stuff. I mean, there's like one track that's like definitely going to be like, you know, or a couple tracks actually that's going to be for
There's a
like,
few on
you
there.
know, the people that be up in the club. Yeah, there's a couple in there, but it wasn't to the amount that I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more. I didn't expect a full like dance album. You know what I mean? I definitely wasn't expecting that. But I'm glad that it happened because for the first time, I really feel like Beyonce is making music that like I really like. And I'm not just saying I like it because it's Beyonce. I'm not just saying I like it because, you know, her longevity in the industry. I'm saying I like it because I like this types of music. I love dance music. I love like this type of style, like this type of like club drum beat. I love it mixed with some of this Afro beat on there a little bit too. I love it.
Like energy.
I'm into this. Yes, I'm into this sound. I'm totally into it, and this is the first time that's ever happened to me, and that's why if it's reasonably priced to the point where I can afford it,
it's not.
I know it's not, but
It's
I'm
not
hoping
gonna be,
like not reasonably. I'm not. Let me read that. I'm talking about to the point like where my ticket limit is, like where I could spend my limit for me. If it's under that limit, I'm diving in.
It ain't gonna be just you though. You know that.
I know, bro. I tried to buy Catron out of tickets the other day, nigga, and them shits sold out in 2 minutes. Not even like less than a minute.
Yeah, you're gonna need to get some bots for that.
Man, I might try and catch it on the resale, but I know people be bugging with resale. They be selling them shits for like $1,500, and people will buy them. You know, people will definitely.
If I got it, I'm definitely. Because it's gonna be crazy. It feels like this is the thing I love about B. It feels like those moments again, right? Not every artist can make those moments, and it feels like Michael Jackson's going back on tour, Prince is going back on tour. You know what I mean? It's one of those like the world is gonna stop. It has to, because you have to witness this. She's gonna have to do a set at the fucking Grammys or like somewhere where like she gets this whole 10-minute, 14-minute masterpiece out on national television, right? It has to, bro. Like this album is just one of those stop the world kind of moments, and what a time to be alive, because she's ascended to me to the like Mount Rushmore, like one of the greatest artists of all time.
Yeah, man. I agree with that. Wholeheartedly.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
This is a very different Beyonce album than we've heard in the past before. And like Trindell said, he had his own predictions, as well as I did. I thought we were only going to get a few songs like the Break My Soul record, and then the rest was just going to be, a Beyonce album. But as we see now, it's completely wrong. Do you think there's any songs on this album that would fit in seamlessly with any of her old work?
I definitely get certain vibes from certain albums. I definitely think like All Up in Your Mind fits on like the Beyonce album, like the 2013 album, which also Dream worked on a lot, right? Because it kind of gives me that like Beyonce vibe with that Beyonce all on his mouth like lick up. Like she kind of does that. And yo, big fucking shout out to Tyrius Nash, bro. Like one of the greatest songwriters and producers listen, the Dream cannot be played with, bro. He has
the Dream stan.
I am 100% a Dream stan. He's one of the coldest, and when him and Beyonce lock in the studio, magic fucking happens. Like if you check out Beyonce Tyrius Nash credits, he has some of the best records she ever made. Honestly. So
a lot of them on this album too.
A lot of them on this album.
He produced Break My Soul too. Yeah. Like he was on there too. Church Girl, Break My Soul.
He damn near wrote on everything, right?
Yeah.
He did 7-Eleven. You know what I'm saying? He did Formation, I think. You know what I mean? Like he's been on
Virgo's Groove. He on here too.
Oh, yeah. Virgo's Groove is crazy, bro. My goodness.
That might be one of my favorites.
He's on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
His bag is deep too. You know what I mean? And those two together, they definitely make magic.
And shout out to Beyonce for like bringing people like, and like listen, I appreciate the Drake album for what it is, but it's not this. This feels a lot more like someone who cares about the space and bringing the producers into this space to kind of like highlight because Beyonce be putting a lot of people on, writers, producers, people that come on to like that actually in the space and like let them create. You know what I'm saying? Like collaborate with them in ways that like, it's not just her running these people around. She's like, I want to work with you. I don't want you to work for me. You know what I mean? It very much feels like she was taking direction from people that have already been in this dance space for a while. You know what I'm saying? And like it very much feels like that, which is great to see. Like I don't even know the right name to say. I don't even know. I don't know if superstar is an understatement. Like I don't know what's above. Like if it is pop star, superstar,
iconic. She's an icon.
Icon. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
But someone at that status having that amount of, being able to relinquish, being like, show me, what should I do? Where should I go in this? You know what I mean? Like, I assume that's happening because you can hear it and you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? This don't feel like culture vulture shit. It feels like people working with, Beyonce and helping her achieve this sound to like bring it out to the masses and like, expand that for their bags as well. Because I've seen a lot of DJs and a lot of producers talking about how great this is for them being able to spin this on their sets and in their clubs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm definitely seeing a lot of that.
And
which
Beyonce
is great
has
to
some
me.
songs from the past that would fit in on this album. Like Who Runs the World girl songs, that would just fit perfectly on an album like this.
Facts.
But the way
That's
them
facts.
band
That's
drums
facts.
were coming in and the sample that he used in that song, that shit would have
That's
fit
facts.
right on in.
That's facts. To answer your question, I know it's probably like one of the ones that like a lot of people kind of like might not look at as much, but I feel like Plastic Off the Sofa could have fit like on most of these other albums.
I was thinking I Am.
I Am. I was thinking about like even one of her early albums. I know she has songs like this where it was kind of like completely off. I want to say off kilter because it was like more so R&B. Like this felt like something that I'd like to see live. Like I guess this is something that she could perform live and it could really sound really good.
Some lounge shit.
Yeah, exactly. Loungy. That's what I'm there. It has that feel to it. And like that's something that I got from that track. And I'm sure there's a bunch of different other tracks that I could feel. But like I said, like this wasn't I'm not too familiar with B's style and the fact where I can like be like, oh, this would fit based on this album. Because this is like the first album that I really ran to. But man, I'm really excited like for what this is gonna bring, what this is gonna do for the ballroom dance space, what this is gonna do for the fashion space. I mean, a lot of people was already talking about that one line, I think on the last song where she was talking about Birkins and a storage and Telfar, she got Telfar. Like she running the stock up and she running another stock down. Like, yo, that's what it is.
Power.
When you big like that, you could do that, dog. Like, which is just amazing to me. But yeah, no, I love this. And Virgo's Groove, I think I'm on the record of saying Virgo's Groove is like probably like my top track. At first, I didn't know because like again, when I listen to albums for the first time, I don't like look at the track name or features and stuff like that. But when I first heard Virgo's Groove, this album blended so nice. I didn't know how long it actually was. Like it's 6 minutes long, but I don't care. It's a dope song and it's a groove. Like, and I love every section of it. So
how many features we got in here? I know Thames is on here.
3 as like actual like like voiced features. 3.
Yeah. So like what?
Yeah.
Thames, Grace Jones,
Beam, and Grace Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, Beam is on Energy, and Grace Jones and Thames are on Move, which is like probably one of my like second or third favorite tracks.
This has been eating at me. Summer Renaissance. What sample? I don't know if it's a sample or like the way she's like sings that part. Like where's that from? It's eating me alive right now.
I thought you were talking about the beginning part. I know that's familiar. Like that sound. I'm gonna find.
That sounds like some Street Fighter shit.
I'm gonna find the track. I'm gonna find the track that it has that remnants of it. It probably already is on Who Sampled, but that track is very much, known in the dance space and in like the fashion space. I don't know exactly the name of it, but I know
that high
like
pitch
what it is when
part
I hear
where
it.
she's that long note. Like I don't remember where that's from exactly, but
yeah. I gotta do more research on that. And let me just say, I love when Beyonce makes random ass sounds. I really do love when like she like fucking like just screams or like she says like random. She does like random sound effects that are like still vocally
pleasing.
Right. Like it's not pleasing. It doesn't sound weird. Like you're actually like doing this. Like I love when she does that. Like and she does it a lot on this album, and it's great to me. So yeah,
salute
I know,
Beyonce, salute the Queen.
Yeah, man, definitely like shout out to Renaissance. I'm hoping for this visual aspect. I hope to, maybe I'll go see her on tour if I can get tickets. We'll see.
Hopefully the tour is generous.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Any other music you listen to before we wrap up music?
I'm trying to think. Who else that I've been listening to lately?
Stream Blur, Xavier Omar. Everybody got the fuck up out the way. Oh, Lloyd Banks a couple weeks ago. He dropped the Course of the Inevitable 2. Solid listen.
Nice.
Neo a couple weeks ago. Dropped self-explanatory, correct?
Right. Did you get to listen to that?
I got a couple listen throughs. I thought it was all right. Laying Low is probably the standout to me. I'm pretty sure it's a single, right?
Laying Low. I can't. Yeah, I can't remember. I only have like one song saved from that album. I think one or two.
What else? West Side Gun had dropped. I think it was like last month. So I was pretty late up on it. It was earlier this month actually. Peace, Fly God. West Side Gun lets her drop a lot. This is good West Side. I know we get on him a lot, and we laugh at those videos of people rapping like West Side. But this is a pretty dope album. Horses on Sunset is a standout to me.
Before I Let Her Go EP by I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it Fabo or Fabo?
Fabo.
Phaba.
He's nice. I like Fabo.
Yeah, he's dope. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know who he is, but he's dope as hell. We gotta start sharing songs in here again, bro. I feel like we should definitely start sharing songs at the end of these pods because like I've been listening to a lot of like different songs, and I'm just like I want to share it, with the listeners and everything. So maybe we can get to that eventually.
Rolling Loud, real quick. That was a fuck fest.
Talk about Rolling Loud because I'm not too familiar with what's been going on. We talking about Cudi?
I mean, yeah, everybody kind of knows what happened with Cudi. Rolling Loud Miami was a shit show again. I'm not sure if you saw that video, like some nigga who looked like he was cracked out standing on top of a fucking dumpster getting a whole bunch of shit thrown at him. Somebody threw they were throwing water bottles and a trash can at this one man who was just standing on top of like this trailer thing. That was funny.
I thought that was like I thought the video. Nah. I thought that the story was that he was the person that threw that shit at Kid Cudi, so everybody was throwing shit at him. It's totally unrelated.
Totally unrelated. This is a totally
he was just throwing shit
dude.
At him.
Yeah, he was just standing on top of this trailer or whatever, and everybody was just throwing shit. It was pretty funny, actually. Everybody was talking about, I'm telling my grandkids, this is Kid Cudi type shit.
Yeah, nah, definitely a lot of jokes to get off, but yo, man, the fans are ruthless, dog. The fans is very.
Listen. As much as I'm not agreeing with what the fans did at all, but if you're Kid Cudi, do you think that is the smartest idea to go stand in front of this crowd who bought their tickets for Kanye West, knowing that you have ongoing beef with this man, and you're replacing him? And not for nothing, Kid Cudi might have been a great headliner in 2013, 2014. But not now.
Yeah.
Like, yo, his last album wasn't even hitting like that. Like, it's a good album, but it wasn't like nobody was like getting out their fucking seats to go see that album on tour or some shit like that. Like I can't think of any standouts from that album.
Who would have been the person to do it? Who would have been the person to really replace him, and it would have been like kind of seamless?
I think what they should have done is take somebody who was already on the lineup and just bump him up to a headliner. Somebody like I don't know if Baby was already there. Dirk probably would have. Dirk is hot right now. Dirk would have been a great headliner. And he brought out Ye, so it would have worked out.
Wait, he brought out Ye during the same show?
Yep. So Ye turned down being the headliner, had Kid Cudi go up there, gets his ass booed off stage, and then comes out for Lil Durk's performance.
So he was there, he just wasn't headlining.
Yeah. My theory is that's
a petty ass.
So Rolling Loud, not Rolling Loud specifically, but the venue didn't want Travis Scott to perform at all. We know Future brought him out. But my theory is that Kanye, like how he did with Coachella, was like, yo, I'm not going to perform if Travis isn't going to be allowed to even be there or perform there or whatever. Or I completely be off. Kanye could have just declined for whatever Kanye reason. Maybe it was just a setup like, oh, I know they're going to bring up Kid Cudi if I drop.
Yeah.
I don't know, but shout out Cudi, man. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves that.
Facts. And especially because we really was talking about mental health earlier. He has like a past of mental health issues, and like
that's majority of his discog is I saw a stat. It was like 76% of his lyrics are directed towards mental health. That's like probably the most you're ever gonna see from an artist.
And honestly, bro, I understand the frustration of the fans, and I understand that you might not want to see this artist, and you might even want to boo him off, but throwing shit, that's a whole like another level of embarrassment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like it pains me because these same people that do this and be like, yo, nah, we don't want to see Cudi, fuck Cudi, nah, I saw Kanye. What if this man does something to himself? Like, what if something happens and like, he can't recover from this mentally? You know what I'm saying? That'll be the same niggas talking about, oh, R.I.P. Cudi, I was just bumping his album last week. Nah, man, like these people need to learn that, like, yo, these are human beings. Like, you're not just like out here. It's not a game. These people got feelings. These people are like real people, and there's repercussions to it. You know what I'm saying? And like, if something happens to Kid Cudi, yeah, as a fan, there's gonna be people that might not even care. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's not your responsibility to care, but you gotta respect people as a human being because
knowing how desensitized kids are now, man,
it's not gonna matter. I know it's not
gonna be
matter.
smoking on
but
Cudi. That's what they're gonna be saying.
There's some artists that wouldn't have taken that. Like, I'm pretty sure the baby would have jumped into the crowd and tried to punch one of them niggas in the face.
He would have been like, for sure. He would have made the audience point out who it was, and then demanded the audience to push that nigga towards the front of the stage to the stage,
Pussies,
and then he would have shot him in the face.
For real, Alec Baldwin style. Like, yo, these people really just like to hide behind whatever. They throw shit and hide your hand. That's the expression, we losing recipes. Kids gotta learn that shit. Don't throw your shit and hide your hand. If you're gonna throw it, own that shit, own it. Don't be hiding behind, anonymity or millions of people that's in the crowd just because you think you tough. Come on, man. This shit's fucked up. And just don't throw shit at all. I've never been so angry at a show to where I don't want to. And that's the thing. If it's not for you, leave. You can leave or you can go to the back. Like, you don't have to. People don't always have to know that you don't like them. I know there's a comedian that said it's a joke where it's like, back in the day, celebrities or like artists like this, they never know you didn't like them unless you came to their shows and told them that you didn't like them. There was no Twitter, there was no shit like that. There was no reach to them. You had to go to their show and boo them or like throw some shit at them and tell them that you hate them. At that point, you're already paying, when the hate was $50
pure.
For it to.
That was pure hate. When you actually met like that. Like, no, I really hate this nigga, so I'm gonna actually go there because that's the only way I'm gonna get this hate off. So I gotta do it.
Yeah,
I respect
all this other hate is stepped on. For real, like, because you're standing in it and you really in front. You're front and center. You're like, yo, I don't fuck with you.
That's crazy. How you fuck up hate?
You stepped on. This shit is all stepped on these days, man. Because not doing it right, man. Which is fucked up. Because it's like, yo, just respect humans. But like, you're right. I'm talking to a crowd with no ears at that point. But I'm talking to the people that can kind of get to these people. I'm not talking directly to the kids, obviously. I'm talking to the people that could kind of help steer them in the right direction if there's a way to get to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's who I'm really talking to when I say that, because I'm not raising nobody's kids. I'm not trying to do that. So very unfortunate. Rolling Loud, I don't know, like, I guess it kind of just validates my fear of festivals. I really don't fuck with festivals as much. Bro, I don't know if I told you, when I went to the Playboi Carti concert, I felt like I was gonna die in that crowd.
I remember you told me.
I don't want to be insensitive, but like the Travis shit with getting trampled, nigga, I get it. Travis fans are Neanderthals. Like, Playboi Carti fans are hectic. They don't give a fuck. People was hanging off the Raptors in Brooklyn Steel when I went, bro. People was like crowd surfing. It was packed. Like, sorry, I could not breathe. And I was like, yo, this is bad. This is bad. To the point where I had to get out. I literally could not breathe. So I get it. I totally get that these fans are built different. Yeah. But what's gonna happen?
These kids in drill. I mean, it's not even just at concerts. Like, you look to see how like these motherfuckers are acting at like sporting events or just public events where there's just a lot of people in general. Like, yo, they're doing anything just to be seen, just to be noticed, just for that little bit of It's not even 15 seconds of fame anymore, bro. It's like 5 seconds and you're the fuck out of there, but you're just satisfied with that 5. It's like nobody gets validation at home.
Yeah, validation, or you're not taught to coexist. These kids that are growing up on the internet and have no real parenting or don't know how to function in society are growing up with these weird ass habits of how they think they need to coexist with other people their age and how to do shit that's mischievous. Like, nah, man, like it's bad. And it's only gonna get worse. I hate to sound so pessimistic, but it's only going to get worse because the needs for coexisting are decreasing. And the fact that people don't feel like they have to live in a world with other people and respect them, and they're like, yo, it's my world, y'all just living in it and I do what I want and all that stuff, is going to get way worse. And it's only going to lead to more regulations on how we do things and all these constants and stuff. It's going to be, the landscape is going to change very soon.
They're gonna put up giant fucking fishnets like they're the back stand at MLB games just so they can protect the artists and ruin it for fucking everybody. Artists are gonna be performing in a glass box.
Yep, all that coming up on stage shit, all that people the artists coming down and shaking people's hands after shows, signing stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of coming up on stage, Cardi needs to be careful with that. Cardi had like 2-3 niggas run up on him on stage, and he's like, "Oh no, it's all good. Tell security to get off," and he's hugging them. All right, yo, let that be the wrong person.
Yeah,
so let that be the wrong person.
Okay. And you know why security is so hard on that? It's like because the reach, that many people witnessing something terrible that could happen to somebody is not good. That's like cause for riot. If somebody come on stage and do some shit to Playboy Cardi in front of like his millions or hundreds of thousands of fans, shit's gonna break out, bro.
All it takes is one person to run up on there to defend him.
Yeah.
And then the rest are gonna follow.
It's gonna be a riot.
And they're gonna murder that man.
And the venue's not gonna know what to do. They don't even want to deal with it. They don't even want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? So
and then it's fucked up because then the artist will probably get arrested.
Yeah. It's like this is somehow your fault, because you let them come up on stage. And it's like, I get why security is there. I understand that. But and I get Playboy Cardi, I get his standpoint too. I know some artists, sometimes they want to feel human. Sometimes they don't want to feel inaccessible. They want to meet with the crowd and be with people. You know what I mean? Like, I totally get that. Which is, I get that, but you got to be safe too. You know what I'm saying? Because like something definitely could happen. I've seen videos on stage when X was alive. People was coming on stage and punched him across the face.
Tackled his ass. Yeah.
I've seen it, and we've all seen it. So it's like you got to be careful, man. Especially with him, who has like a bunch of young fans who are stupid, who will just see something on the internet.
Impressionable.
Yes, very impressionable.
Like a lot of these young fans who are drill fans, like beef between Young Boy and Dirk. Like, yo, these niggas are actually like, these aren't your ops. These are not your ops. You don't know these niggas. They don't know you.
Don't slide for nobody. What are you talking about?
You're not spinning nothing.
Go to school. Don't do something, bro. Get out of here. They don't know you. They don't care, dog. Like, stop it, man. So I don't know, man. That's all I got on that. In terms, like, I just feel like the landscape's going to change very soon, and maybe, honestly, it might be for the better. I don't know. I would hate to like be in a world where it has to be that regulated. But if it gets to that point, like, it's not just for me. I'm level-headed to the point where I'm not going to be doing nothing wild. But if the next generation that's going to the concerts and festivals need that, then I can't be the one to be like, no, we can't do that because I'm not even there. So it is what it is, which is, sickening.
Who knows? We could just be old niggas because because I'm sure the generation before us was saying the same thing about us. So who knows? It could just be a cycle.
That's the thing, though.
I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know if it's justified. I don't know if I'm speaking the truths and like I have all the evidence I need, or if I'm just like, man talking into the clouds.
It's definitely different though, man. It definitely is. Like there are points where we feel
because we came up the same way. I feel like the internet was as accessible to us as it is for them. Maybe it's earlier for them.
Yeah,
but I feel like we're we're more like our generation specifically is more in tune with technology and like, you know, how to finesse it.
Yeah. Our developmental
like we're like right in the middle.
Facts. Our developmental stages weren't dependent on social media and the internet.
Yeah.
Like we were already like developing normal social skills in person and, you know, around each other. And then we got the internet, you know. But now, like you said,
like I feel like there's people now who maybe don't use social media or the internet in general at all because like they had that option coming up. Like, you know, they just chose not to be on social media. Whereas now it's like, you know, something you come up with. It's something that everybody, you know, it's like.
And if you're not using it, you weird. I wish Jess was still here, like, you know, to kind of like circle around that point. But, you know, to him talking about the optional for Oculus, you know, it's almost weird if you're not using social media. Bro, I know women who say they straight up not dating dudes or like being involved with dudes if they don't have social media.
If they don't have social media.
Which is weird to me. Like, that's so weird to me, bro.
Yeah.
It's become a status now. If you don't have social media.
It is, but it's crazy because I understand it at the same time, but it's weird as fuck. But I also understand it. Depending on how you meet the person. I don't want to get into it completely.
Let's pocket this because I definitely want Just to be a part of this conversation too. Let's pocket this because, you know, we've been talking for a long time, you know, and I definitely think it's time to wrap it up. Thank y'all for listening, being a part of this. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been talking about a lot of different stuff, music, lifestyle. I don't know if you have shout outs and shut ups or anything.
I got a quick one.
Yeah.
I think they're going to the same people. Shout out Disney. Because what they got coming up looks pretty fire. If you haven't caught up with the Disney lineup, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing right now, but 2025 it looks like it's gonna be that year. The new Black Panther movie looks like it's gonna be amazing, and those are the two big standouts for me.
We gotta talk about that next week. So I know Jess had a lot to say about that too.
Word.
Black Panther.
And fuck you to Disney because this phase is low key been pretty ass. That Thor movie. I'm gonna just stop watching trailers, man. Because they're just too good. They are just too good with the trailers.
They do his job.
And I mean, I saw the Black Panther one, and I'm looking forward to that one. They got me again with the Black Panther one, but goddamn, this story they fooled me.
It's so funny how Marvel is like been doing this. They have the same script for all of this stuff with the trailers being like fire for a lot of these things, but somehow it's like we forget the next Marvel movie comes around, and it's like, take my money. it's like you just forget. It happens to me too, dog. You're not alone. Trust me.
They did not hit the nail on the head with Thor. It was a very genuinely funny movie, and that's the biggest problem with it. I feel like they could have been so much more serious and darker with the Gore, the God Butcher character. They buff him up so much, talking about he's taking out all these gods, but we don't see him take anybody out. The big softy in the end, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm hearing there's a whole bunch of deleted scenes that seem pretty gory for a Disney, for MCU PG-13 thing. I guess they're going for, but it would have been great to see. Because like you see that whole black and white scene, you're thinking like, oh shit, this is about to go down. Like this is about to be crazy. This is about to be like real serious, and it's just not. It's just not. Zeus, they admitted to a big goof. Yeah, man. It was just.
And it's funny because I know I asked you how you felt about it offline, and I almost went to go see it, but your answer for it at the last moment stirred me away from it. And I feel like I could definitely.
What did I say again?
You said 7 out of 10. But also, I was like, is this like a necessary movie to see? And I think you said no.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It's not.
It doesn't seem too necessary. It seems like they're going to be doing more stuff with Thor in the future, but it doesn't seem like it ties in too much with all the stuff that was announced at the latest Disney convention.
Yeah.
Or Comic-Con. I don't know what it was, but yeah.
Now, something to explore, which again we can come back to this next week, is my question of are Marvel movies, like these types of Marvel movies, targeted to us still? That's my question. Like, are we outgrown? Because listen, bro, Iron Man came
I
out.
want to say no. I want to say no, just because they are coming out with like Deadpool shit in the future, and I think they're going to be doing a lot more R-rated stuff, like the Daredevil show that they got that they're going to be bringing back. Like that's going to be more mature rated. So I want to say no, but I think they are going to have like their little sub category of like, because they're setting up like their Young Avengers stuff with Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel, all the younger I'm assuming Scarlet Witch's sons are going to come back at some point, be part of that young Avenger crew. So I assume like they're and you can kind of you watched Miss Marvel yet?
Wait, Miss Marvel? No, I thought you were talking about Captain Marvel, but no, Miss Marvel, I haven't watched it yet.
No, the TV show.
Yeah.
So when you watch that show, you can kind of see like, yo, this show's not meant for that show's meant for kids, bro. Like it's like it gives like a really big Spider-Man Homecoming type of vibe where it's like this is meant for teenagers. So I think they are going to be doing that, where it's like they're going to have their PG-13 stuff, they're going to have their R-rated stuff, and then they're going to have their PG team stuff. That's going to be like ground level, maybe not totally ground level, but like for kids.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it might be headed.
Yeah, let's explore that more next week. So I have like I want to like catch up on these shows before I.
Yeah, you definitely should. There's a lot of shows you specifically I know got to catch up on.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on the shout out fuck you side?
Nah, I got it covered.
Okay, weird.
Looking forward to this Black Panther movie. Shout out Ryan Coogler. Okay. I know he's gonna do Chadwick right.
I don't think I have a lot of fuck yous right now, but I want to give a shout out since I've been watching The Wire. I'm getting like halfway through the second season. I'm getting through it, but I want to give a shout out again. I think we shouted him out before. Give a rest in peace, but I want to give a shout out to Michael K. Williams, man, because I love the character Omar, man. I really do, and like very talented, and it almost makes me sad that I've missed the time to give him the flowers while he was alive, like in my personal sense. I mean, I know he was respected in this act. I know a lot of people gave him his flowers, but it feels like I missed out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know. I really am enjoying The Wire. I have thoughts on why I feel like it's so enjoyed, but I want to wait until it's over to like get to that point. But I have like a lot of thoughts on why this is like considered one of like the greatest shows on television to a lot of people. And yeah, I want to get through it. But shout out to Michael K. Williams and his character, his performance. And a lot of times I always talk about how Black actors don't get a lot of opportunities in roles that aren't outside of, or that are outside of the gangster role, or drug dealer, felon, having familial problems, baby mamas, all that shit. Rappers, like, I have a lot of feelings about that, but one thing that I already see a difference of in The Wire is that it definitely humanizes a lot of these different people, like of the drug dealers and the people that are in this business, and like gives them more of an identity than just like because yes, this show is surrounded like it shows the perspective of cops a lot and politics, but you also are just as invested in the lives of the people, like the drug dealers and the people that are in that are committing crimes and stuff. Like, you're just as invested in it, and you're like seeing from the perspective, and I'm sure it's going to get better. Like, I'm sure you're going to have like a history, there's a history behind it of like how they got to that point, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's definitely a different show for me in that sense. But yeah, shout out to Michael K. Williams. Loving this show so far. And I'm gonna keep on going, even though I heard season 2 was a little slow. I'm gonna keep on going. And I don't have a fuck you this week, I don't think. Not that I get actually nah. Fuck you to my building. Bro, all right. So listen, and I know some.
It's a bold thing to say while you're standing right in it.
No, I'm definitely moving. I'm definitely moving. Hopefully sooner than later, but I'm definitely moving. But I want to give a fuck you to my building because, and I knew it was going to be bullshit coming in, but it's been a lot faster than I imagined. So I have a problem with people who put buildings in communities where the demographic is majority Black and start giving all these weird ass rules, bro. And it's been for a couple months now. that they've been trying to put all these limits on things. We have a courtyard in our building, right? We got a email a couple months ago about dogs not being allowed in the courtyard. It's a big ass courtyard, bro. And people, they have dogs. They want to walk their dogs. But because they don't want to do maintenance on the grass and they don't want to, they want to make the grass look good and everything. Bro, you have people for that. Handle it. Like, you telling me I can't walk my dog through this courtyard? What are you talking about? I pay, and this is luxury apartments. I pay almost, I'm not talking about me personally, but I pay almost, $2,000 to live here. And you're saying I can't walk my dog like through a courtyard because he's being a dog? Like, you might as well just say no dogs allowed then at that point. You know what I'm saying? So
do they charge you extra for having a pet?
They do charge you extra for having a pet. Use that money that we charge extra for the pet and fix the grass. Because what are you talking about, man? You can't walk it through.
Shit don't make no sense.
And there's you can't have a shop. Like, there's certain shopping carts that, how people in apartments, sometimes they have shopping carts to bring upstairs their groceries and stuff. You have to have a certain shopping cart. You can't have just any shopping cart, because the shopping cart that looks more like an actual shopping cart doesn't fit the look of the luxury apartments, is what this email said. And so if they see that you have a shopping cart that isn't like one of the ones that they are allowing in this complex, they'll give you a fine for that. What kind of shit is that?
That's fucking
dumb. And okay,
that's asinine.
And this was the last one, which I was kind of on the fence about because I know how niggas get, but also we're not children. So we have a lounge area. It's like a little rooftop area. It's like outdoor. There's grills and stuff, everything. And there's also a pool table in there, ping pong tables, a whole bunch of stuff in there. I got an email this week. Due to complaints or noise complaints or something of that matter, everything, the lounge will now be closed at 10 p.m. Your fobs won't work to open the lounge past 10 p.m. Listen, like I said, I know how niggas get. Sometimes you be having a little bit too much. Like, you be a little loud. Like, it's quiet hours. You can't just be up at the lounge outside on the deck 2 a.m. during a weekday. Like, you can't just be making that much noise playing music. Sometimes you can't do that. I get that. But that's quiet, just in general, quiet hours of, like, the town or whatever, all that stuff. I get that. But 10 o'clock? Like, every day, 10 o'clock? Like,
nigga put in there.
You put a curfew, like we're
you better reduce the rent,
nigga. Like,
you know what's fucked up?
Like, we're children.
When you try to renew the rent, they gonna up the rent on you too.
Yeah, and they have, and that's why I'm already thinking about moving. But these are just like solidifying my decision because they keep sending out these dumbass emails, bro. Like, why are you?
They trying to get niggas out of there.
Yeah. But Jada Youngin, Bogalusa, Louisiana, 24 years old, was killed with his father as well. Which is
crazy.
It's a wild statement to me. It was
crazy,
gun violence, which is very unfortunate. I didn't listen to his music, but very, very sad to hear about his passing. So R.I.P. Jada Youngin. And if anybody enjoyed his music, I'm sorry that you had to experience that. We got to talk about that eventually, what that does for fans. And I mean, I talked about it before about losing, Mac Miller, and how that felt to me as a fan. But a lot of people are losing their favorite artists as fans, and what that does to their.
It's happening way more frequently now than it has been, and this kind of goes to what I said before, just earlier about these young fans now and really taking things personal for the other artists. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, these aren't your ops. You know what I'm saying? So there is that one side where the fans are sad, but then there's the other side where the fans of the other person or the people that weren't really fucking with this person, or I don't fuck with this guy because he's ops of this rapper over here. They're celebrating him. You know the phrases that they like to say. So
yeah,
it has to stop, man. Yo, it's a dangerous. It's a dangerous.
Dangerous sport, man.
It's a dangerous job right now, being a rapper.
Yeah, for sure, man.
It's not even about competitiveness anymore. It's really not. It's shit just doesn't get settled like how it used to. No, if you got any beef with somebody, leave it. Put it on wax, and leave it on wax.
I hate that people can't see the bigger picture behind things. A lot of these people can't see that, like, it's a bigger problem. And what's this gonna do for Louisiana, bro? more cops. What do they do for this, man? What do they do for these problems? Just start patrolling more. Put out more police officers, more harassing more people, trying to get to the bottom of whatever they think they're getting to the bottom. Giving them more excuses to terrorize young lives.
To add more fucking
any type of reason they need, they're gonna get them. You know what I'm saying? With this presidency, and then and the type of laws that be in Louisiana, I'm sure they're very quick to throw money at police. I'm sure. So, RP to him. We've been talking for a while. Thank y'all for listening, listeners. And if you want to see more, if you want to hear like uncut versions, longer versions of this podcast, subscribe to the podcast Patreon, patreon.com/because I am podcast. We got all types of we got a large backlog on there, man, and we got a lot of stuff coming and more stuff coming. Like, we got to start planning more things about like for the Patreon exclusives, more stuff on there. We're gonna have a lot of different things on there for y'all.
Some segments.
Yes, it's definitely the more segments. So stick around, and if you're not around yet, like I said, subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/because I am podcast, and become a part of that group and get read on this list that I'm about to read right now with the patrons that are already here: Nat, Redacted, Tori Campbell, Gideon M, Leslie, Rigson Collins, Jessica Lozano, Chris Costa, Baju Bot, Darren Lightburn, Justin Jones, Karen Brookman, Eric Santiago, Armand Sally, Paul Pittman, Florence Rowe Adams. Y'all are all great. Thank y'all for helping us produce this pod. We're going to do this pod for a long time, and I just, I'm glad that we have a lot of listeners from all over the place. A lot of different listeners come outside of the country, surprisingly. A lot of them outside of the country in places that you wouldn't even imagine. It's very like, I'm like, yo, who listen to this in Vietnam? It's very interesting knowing that, bro. It's very interesting looking at the analytics and like wondering and seeing that, like, yo, we got listeners in different spots, But I wonder what they pick up from this,
Ah, man, we missed a perfectly good opportunity, man. You know what episode this is? Gahdamn 47.
Gahdamn 47. Oh man, we gotta start keeping. I gotta start giving these. Because right now I'm not giving titles to the episodes. I'm just doing with the numbers. But I gotta start getting creative. If you can come up with something creative for the episode names or like something like that, feel free to tag them in. Because
that's the name of this one. Gahdamn 47.
Classic, man. OD. Was it? It was
like how many stars on the flag? I don't know. Goddamn.
It's like how do you get so close but it's so wrong at the same time? 13 minus 50. Not only you wrong about the amount of stars on the flag, that math is very wrong. But listen, Gahdamn 47. Thank y'all for listening. We'll see y'all next week. We'll be back, same time, same place. Keep it tight.